Mark Robins there speaking glowingly of his former club and wishing them well after today's game. If you go back to the reverse fixture, this was a top-of-the-table clash, but after that sort of bright start to the season and once being in the mix for the top two, they've kind of gone off the boil, in particular in 2026, because they went through an 8-game winless run, but beat Oxford last time out, so finally have that winning feeling back. But what would you say, Perry, would be the reason as to why Stoke have fallen away and now are out of the playoffs as it is?
Yeah, I think that a little bit of creativity, and a goal threat, especially away from home. They only scored more than once in just 2 of their last 15 away games in the league. I think there's a heavy reliance on Sorba Thomas on the left-hand side of the three. He's got 8 assists in the championship this season. He's the top scorer with 9 goals. So other players have to sort of step up. So you've got Manoff, who's going to be playing in the 10 position today. Beijing Ho has come in on the right-hand side. So these are sort of players that have got to start producing, because they're too reliant on Sorba Thomas.
They have the best defence coming into this game in the Championship, having conceded 32 goals. Coventry, though, of course, have the best attack, 70 goals, which is absolutely phenomenal. Does that mean they kind of cancel each other out, do you think, Perry?
It'll be interesting to see how Mark Robins, we know how he's going to set. It's going to be like a 4-2-3-1, but it'll be interesting to see how he sets his team up, what attitude they come out with, whether they're going to go for Coventry and try and press them from the front, or they're going to sit back and go like a 4-5-1 and hit them on the counter-attack. And talking on the counter-attack, if you saw the first goal against Oxford, it was a brilliant counter-attacking goal where there was a long throw from Oxford, went into the box. Stoke won the first one. All of a sudden, there was a 4-on-2 break. Manoff sort of breaks through the middle and squares it to Cisse, and he scores his first goal in like 24 matches. So Stoke do have that threat and have that little bit of pace. So it'll just be intriguing just to see if they, I was going to say low block there, but it's basically defending deep. Do you know what I mean? It's like low block, mid block. See how how they set themselves up, because although they've fallen away a little bit, they're only 7 points off of the playoff places, and where everybody knows in the Championship, basically you go on a little run of winning 3 on the trot, and that puts you right back in the picture to get yourself in those playoff places.
I mean, you mentioned goal scoring. Sorba Thomas is their top scorer in the Championship with 9 goals. So for a team to be competing at the top end and into the playoffs, you need a collection of players. And they have got a few that have scored, more than 1 goal, shall we say, this season. But to be regularly competing at the top end, you need double figures from at least one player, surely.
Yeah, if you compare them with Coventry, you mentioned Haji Wright's got 14, Ellis Sims got 11, Brandon Thomas Santos got 10. Then you go over to Stoke, we mentioned Sorba Thomas with 9. The next highest scorer to him in all competitions is Manoff with 5. So there you can see there is your problem. But Mark Robins' team, and Dan's has seen loads of them over the years, and obviously he was here for 7 years at Coventry City. You know that they're going to be very well organised defensively and be very, very disciplined. So there'll be a lot of little individual battles, and one player that I'm looking forward to watching that is Rudoni. I think he's like my favourite player in the Championship. I think he just glides through games. He's like 6 foot plus, but his balance is unreal. So could be a battle of the tens as well between Rudoni and Manoff.
So Jack Rudoni's your favourite player. Does that mean you expect that he could make the step up quite easily to the Premier League? Yes,
I do. Yeah, just the way that he plays, and I think if you've got that quality that he has, there's a lot of players that are brilliant in the Championship. Adam Armstrong springs to mind. Obviously, he's gone to Wolves now, but that's for next season. Scores bundles of goals, but struggles with the Premier League. But I think Rudoni he will flourish in the Premier League, because the Premier League is probably just that little bit pacier, but it's not as physical as the Championship. Premier League is the most physical elite league in the world, but compared to the Championship, it isn't anywhere near. So I think that as long as he's in a good team, and Coventry, if they get promotion, they'll have to go obviously invest and get some experienced players. But he's a player that I think easily could just slip into the Premier League without any problem whatsoever.
The away form for Coventry perhaps has been the trickier of the two when you compare it to how they fare at the CBS Arena. What is it about their home stadium that has made it so impenetrable? Only 1 loss they've had there all season in the Championship?
The answer is just to look around us. See a full stadium, Natalie. 20+ thousand season ticket holders. Something that Coventry City have never had before this season. The record number of people that paid up front for the belief that this team could go all the way under Frank Lampard. And the noise you can hear around us, that's another reason, Natalie, right there.
Yeah, you can certainly hear that they are up for it, the Coventry fans. You're tuning into EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 and over. Fees apply to delivery orders, and that's subject to availability. Prices may vary. Don't forget Talksport will keep you right across the football and the cricket this weekend. Game Day Live is over on Talksport with Adrian Durham, taking you around the grounds in the Premier League, the EFL and beyond. But we are about to get underway at the CBS Arena then for our second of 2 Championship games that we are bringing you on Talksport 2. Coventry against Stoke then is about to get underway in the company of former Arsenal winger Perry Groves and your match commentator Ian Danter.
Thank you, Natalie, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. Well, the EFL may not be Coventry City's home for too much longer. They may have a date with destiny to get back into the Premier League for the first time in a generation as we closing on the final furlong of the season. They have a 5-point gap over Middlesbrough in second. They look destined for automatic promotion, although Hull and Ipswich, Hull who've won today, as you've just heard, on Talksport 2 at Portsmouth, and Ipswich Town may have something to say about whether it's set in stone for Coventry. But this is a stadium full of self-belief. And Frank Lampard really has united the fan base, the players, the staff and the club beyond even what Mark Robins managed to achieve. And he's back today with Stoke City for the second time since leaving, having dragged Coventry through the divisions from League 2 to League 1 and back to the Championship, to an FA Cup semi-final, winning the Football League trophy. It's a pretty good roll of honour for Mark Robins. He wants to try and drag Stoke out of mediocrity. Never finished above 14th in the Championship since their relegation from the Premier League. They sit in 13th right now, but only 7 points off the playoffs. The 3 points was rather handy for the Potters today as well. Team usage has one change for Coventry City. Remain Essa preferred in midfield to Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. So Carl Rushworth is the keeper. Milan Van Eyck, Bobby Thomas, Joel Latiberger and Jada Silva in the back four. Frank Onyeka and Matt Grimes, the holding midfielders, with Romain Essa, Jack Redoni and Efren Mason-Clark behind Haji Wright in attack. For Stoke, they make 4 changes from their win over Oxford in midweek. Tommy Simkin is their goalkeeper, Ben Wilmot, Ashley Phillips, Maxim Talavierov and Ben Gibson at the back four, right to left. Tatsuki Seko and Ben Pearson are both brought in as defensive midfielders. Millian Manhoef, Bai Jun Ho and Sorba Thomas are the 3 in behind Lamine Cisse, who scored his first league goal for Stoke last time out in that win against Oxford. Terrific atmosphere that they've whipped up here at the Coventry Building Society Arena. We'll keep you bang up to date with goals going in elsewhere. There's 3 Premier League kickoffs at Burnley, Liverpool and Newcastle. In the Championship, Charlton, Ipswich, Oxford, Preston, QPR and Sheffield Wednesday all kick off home games imminently and already today. Bournemouth to Sunderland have drawn 1 apiece live on Talksport. Blackburn and Leicester lose, and their relegation woes continue at the bottom of the Championship. And Hull City, as you've heard on Talksport 2, won at Portsmouth to strengthen their playoff push and maybe even closing down the top 2 for automatic. We're underway with Coventry City in all sky blue attacking the south stand away to our right. Perry and me are sat in the west stand here at the CBS Arena, with the south end to our right, which is where the Stoke City fans are situated, a good couple of thousand of those. And it's that end that we're looking at the moment, because Coventry have already won a throw-in midway point of the Stoke half, and it's going to be hurled in by Milan Van Eyck from this near side, the right. getting it into around the edge of the 6-yard box. Stoke managed to get it half clear, but Van Eyck will retrieve the loose ball as it's nodded back towards halfway. And here's Onyeka getting his first touch of the afternoon. Rolls it across to the left, and Matt Grimes. Now Jay Da Silva, faced up by Jun-Ho, clips the ball in field. It's volleyed away from the edge of the area by Ben Wilmot. But Coventry win it back. And already Perry Groves, they're trying to pin Stoke inside their own half. Yeah, with a minute and a bit gone.
Straight out from kick-off, Rushworth, the Coventry goalkeeper, just launched it straight down the pitch onto the head of Gibson, who headed the ball out for Stoke City. Then Van Eyck took his long throw. To be fair, Tolovierov was very, very disciplined just on the edge of the 6-yard box. He got the first header for Stoke, and it's allowed Stoke just to push a little bit further up the pitch.
Yeah, and what's happened is you've got Wilmot playing as a centre-half. Tolovierov is playing at the right-back position for Stoke today. Here's Sorba Thomas winning the ball off Esser and drawing the foul just over halfway. And so Stoke have a free kick just inside the Coventry half of the field. Couple of minutes gone, goalless on Talksport 2.
Yeah, as you said there, Stoke City captain Ben Wilmot will play on the left-hand side of the centre-back pairing with Phillips. Tolovierov on that right-hand side and Gibson in the left-back position, but he is by natural position. Gibson's normally a centre-half as well, so you've got 3 massive centre-backs across the back 4 for Stoke.
Thomas takes the free kick up into the area, headed up but not quite out by Latibeaudiere. Jun-Ho brings it down right-hand side, running away from the right-hand corner of the penalty area under pressure from Coventry players, and works it back to Ben Pearson, who was on halfway. Now his defensive midfield partner Seko looks to float it down the right-hand side, looking for Lamine Cissé, who scored a wonderful goal to win the FA Cup tie between these two back in January. Scored it from a good 35 yards out with a wicked, dipping right-footed shot at the Bootham end. Let's work back to Tommy Simpkins. Bit of a goalkeeper crisis at Stoke at the minute. Victor Johansson, the first choice, is out. Tommy Simpkins was recalled from his Leyton Orient loan to be the Stoke number 1 for the time being. He plays it out to Ashley Phillips on loan from Tottenham. Up to halfway, Cissé chests it down under pressure from Latibeaudiere, who then fouls him. Obviously thought they got possession, but the referee Andrew Kitchen says that's a free kick to Stoke. 0-0.
Yeah, Latibeaudiere just a little bit too keen. Dance, it was a good challenge at first when it came into Cissé, just put him under a bit of pressure, made him go back to his own goal about 5 yards, and then just got a little bit too energetic, and then just tried to put his right foot across him. Andrew Kitchen, the referee, quite rightly just gave the free kick, and that just eased a little bit of pressure from Stoke City.
Ipswich already 1-0 up on Swansea City in the early stages in the Championship. Ipswich got games in hand on the top 2, Coventry and Middlesbrough, and they lead already at Portman Road against Swansea. And Falkirk are 1-0 up against Kilmarnock. It's Anis Mehmeti that got that Ipswich Town goal, incidentally. That's the first goal in the Championship, 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, Ipswich Town's record at home is as good as Coventry City's. Dance, and it only lost 1 in 16 before today.
We're there on Tuesday on Talksport 2 when they take on Hull. Ashley Phillips treads on the ball inadvertently on halfway, and Mason Clark brings the ball forward for Coventry, tries to slip it through for Wright, but Wright wasn't aware that the pass was about to be played, and the ball just rolled through harmlessly from the Stoke point of view to their goalkeeper Tommy Simpkin. Nearly 5 minutes gone on Talksport 2, 0-0 here.
Yeah, Tolovierov got his teammate Phillips out of trouble there. Say Phillips just fell over the ball, but Tolovierov made sure that he came in from that right back position from Stoke into the right sided centre half. That enabled him just to ease Hadji Wright off the ball.
Falkirk are 2-0 up on Kilmarnock, trying to get themselves in a top 6 position, Falkirk, before the SPFL split. Here's Manhoef finding Jun-Ho, right-hand corner of the area, gets the ball on his left foot and lifts the shot way over the bar. Got himself in a good position there, Jun-Ho, but couldn't wrap his left foot round the shot. Well over the crossbar. Coventry goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, good link-up play from the front 3 behind Cissé. Come out to Sorba Thomas on this left-hand side, roll it into Manoff in the 10 position, got himself on the half-turn, then rolled it out to Jun-Ho, cut him from that right-hand side left foot. It didn't really look like he was convicted there, D'Antoni, with his shot with his left foot. There was no courage in his convictions, where he sort of leant back a little bit. He thought, well, I've got to take the shot on, and he ended up getting underneath it and skying it high over Rushworth's goal.
In the National League, Forest Green, who've been on a pretty woeful run, no win in 5, but they lead at Gateshead, who themselves are struggling. Tom Knowles with the goal for Robbie Savage's side. Forest Green starting the day in 6th. Here is Seko for Stoke City, 0-0 here. Tries to play a 1-2 with Bai Jun-ho. Runs down the right-hand side, but Grimes had tracked the run well and guided the ball back to Carl Rushworth. Had an excellent season at Coventry on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. Would they let him come permanently here, or would Brighton want to take him back and make him number 1 at the Amex? Remains to be seen. Grimes plays it up to the halfway line, and the elegant Radoni strides infield from the left-hand touchline, then plays it back out to the wing to Mason Clark. Clark goes down, tripped at the edge of the area by Talavierov. It's a free kick down the left-hand side of the box for Coventry City at the south stand end, 0-0.
Not be funny, Dad. Is there a conveyor belt out there? Radoni looked like he was on a conveyor belt, didn't he? He was just glide out. It was like a straight run of 25-30 yards, and because of the qualities out, Stoke back forward just completely backed off to the edge of the 18-yard box, put it out to Mason Clark left-hand side. Talavierov dangles his egg out and has a bit of a panic up, gives a free kick away. Really dangerous position for Coventry on the left-hand side of the 18-yard box.
Matt Grimes is hands on hips, standing right over the ball, so it'll be a left-footed delivery, sort of away from Tommy Simpkin. That will be the intention, and it's a packed old penalty area, although De Silva and Onyeka are unmarked at the edge of the area if Grimes wanted to roll it back to either of them. He does roll it across to Onyeka, drives it goalwards, and it deflects off right, and Mason Clark, and into the grateful arms of Simpkin, who can bowl it clear. But the header from Cisse won't find its target. But Matt Grimes did look for one of his unmarked teammates at the edge of the area. 0-0.
That's not be funny. Have you just gone through the the Coventry City set-piece playbook? You just nailed it completely. You said the 2 Coventry players on the edge of the box, and Grimes started to pick out Onyeka. And to be fair, the ball wasn't rolled across to him, Dance, was it? It was a fast pace where it was bobbled a little bit. To be fair, Onyeka, he got a decent shot in. Looked like it was in trouble Simpkin, but got a little deflection. Van
Ewijk runs into the attentions of Stoke's Ben Gibson, who can fire it downfield for the Potters, but one back by Bobby Thomas, but he skews the clearance out of play. There's goals going in elsewhere this afternoon on Talksport 2. Liverpool lead West Ham early through Hugo Ekitike. That's the first goal that's gone in the Premier League, 3 o'clock. Ipswich, as I mentioned, 1-0 up against Swansea. Mansfield are 1-0 up against AFC Wimbledon in League 1. That's Jonathan Russell. And Rotherham, 4 straight defeats and 5 points adrift at safety. They lead Plymouth by a 0-0 at the New York. Joe Rafferty with the goal for the Millers. And Luton have just taken the lead at Basement Club Port Vale in League 1. And that's Naki Wells with the goal for Luton, who've won 2 out of 5 but haven't won in 3 in the league, and are just threatening to drop away altogether from the playoff chase. Coventry looking for the championship title, not interested in playoffs this season. Coventry, they want to get the job done early doors. 9 minutes gone and they're in possession with Ephraim Mason-Clark. Down the left-hand side of the box, goes beyond Talavierov, pulls the ball back. It's volleyed goalwards and it's blocked again. This time it was Essa that tried to get the shot away, but there were red and white shirts in the midst of it to block it, and Stoke bring it clear. Here's Millian Manhoof over the halfway line. Cisse just ran into an offside position and had to check his run, and out it goes for a throw to Coventry, to Stoke rather, on this near side. 0-0.
Dance, if you're Frank Lampard, you'll be saying to the Coventry midfield players, Onyeka and Grimes, your first look when you get the ball is out to Mason Clark on the left-hand side, because Talavierov is a centre-half who doesn't want to be there, doesn't look comfortable at the right-back position at all.
Here's Jack Radoni down the right-hand side for Coventry now, to the corner of the penalty area, turning and twisting away from Gibson, chips the ball across the face of goal, and it was comfortably claimed by Simpkin, as Brentford appeared to have gone ahead of Burnley. VAR are checking it, but Mikkel Damsgaard appears to have put Brentford ahead at Turf Moor. Goal is given, so it's 1-0 to the Bees. Elsewhere in the Premier League, as I've mentioned, Liverpool 1-0 up on West Ham, Newcastle and Everton are 0-0. No goals yet in the 3 o'clocks in League 2. And that second goal for Falkirk was ruled out. It's still only 1-0 to the Bairns at the Falkirk Stadium against Kilmarnock in the Scottish Prem. 0-0 here at Coventry. It's forward again, elegantly comes Rodoni, strokes it out to Mason Clark at the left-hand corner of the penalty area, trying to get away from Bai Jun Ho. Jay Da Silva takes over up against Talavierov, whips a lovely cross in, right, simple header, simple goal, Coventry lead, and the leaders made that look so simple. Jay Da Silva with a wicked cross from the left-hand side, and Haji Wright is at it again in front of goal for the Sky Blues, and they lead Stoke by a goal to 0 early on.
Danta said earlier, Talavierov in that right back position is like a fish up a tree, just doesn't want to be out there, doesn't look comfortable at all. This time it was Da Silva who was 1v1, he's got to stop the cross, Talavierov, he doesn't, Da Silva gets himself to the byline, just stands it up, it's a real quality cross dance, and then Haji Wright, we said before, now he just prowls around the 18-yard box, he's just inside the near post, at the far post, rises completely unchallenged, heads the ball past Simpkin, no chance whatsoever. Top quality goal from Coventry City's point of view, shocking defender from Stoke. Coventry go 1-0 up here at the CBS Arena against Stoke City.
And that's 6 goals in his last 5 home games for the American Haji Wright. And it was such a simple header, it was a free header as well, right in front for the Coventry City number 11. And now this place has really come alive. Coventry 1, Stoke 0 on Talksport 2. As Van Avijk skews an attempted clearance high into the Midland sky, but it still breaks for the Sky Blue shirts. And Jay Da Silva plays a neat ball up to Rodoni just shy of halfway. Mason Clark tight to the touchline, tries to give it back to Rodoni, but he has won a throw on that far side of the field. Of course, Haji Wright got a hat-trick here, as Perry mentioned earlier, against Middlesbrough, to really imbue him with a renewed sense of confidence in front of goal. And he's kept that going since that important win here against the other side in the automatic spots. So Coventry in possession with Bobby Thomas giving it back to Rushworth. And now Stoke might have to re-evaluate their game plan. No real press on the goalkeeper. Cisse and Manhoof just at the edge of the area. Now Cisse comes to engage Rushworth, and he just calmly passes it round him to Grimes. Onyeka, though, he's dispossessed by Manhoof, but then wins it back. Great strength from the Brentford loanee, and drifts out to the left-hand side for Coventry City. Rodoni lays it back to Da Silva on halfway. What a racket around this stadium. 1-0 to the Sky Blues.
Well, Stoke City have set themselves out, Dance, with it. They haven't come and sat deep, they're trying to put a press on, but I don't think they're really got that courage or convictions to go and put the press on, because it's sort of 3-quarter pace where they've gone a little bit man for man as well, but they're not actually getting close enough to the players they're supposed to be marking. We're just looking at Rodoni, who's playing in the 10th position for Coventry. Pearson's the one who's trying to get close to him, but he's not getting with him 3 or 4 yards of him, giving that bit of space. He's causing all sorts of trouble. Mason Clark on that left-hand side as well, I mentioned with Talavierov. He doesn't look comfortable. Bai Jun Ho's not getting back to, double up. So Stoke are just twixt and between at the minute, where, it seems like Mark Robbins wants them to press, but they don't really feel comfortable in doing it.
You're listening to Coventry 1, Stoke 0, EFL live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders subject to availability. Price may vary. Well, there's a player down for Coventry City. I think it is Onyeka that's got a problem with his shoulder, maybe. Gives me a chance to tell you, massive goal at the bottom of the Championship. Oxford United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. Stanley Mills, son of our own Danny Mills, has put Oxford ahead at the Kazam. Oxford, remember, starting the day second bottom. West Brom outside of the bottom 3, just from Leicester at the start of the day. And that's a massive goal for Stanley Mills and Oxford United from a corner. So in the Championship, the games with goals: here at the CBS Arena as Onyeka continues to receive treatment. Coventry 1, Stoke 0, Ipswich 1, Swansea 0, Oxford 1, West Brom 0, and Sheffield United have just taken the lead at Queen's Park Rangers as well at the Loft. Give you the goal scorer in a minute, but that's the latest score in West London. In League 1, the games with goals: Mansfield 1, Wimbledon 0, Port Vale 0, Luton 1, and Rotherham 1, Plymouth 0. In League 2, there are no goals in the 3 o'clock kickoff so far, and a reminder in the Premier League: Liverpool lead West Ham, and Brentford are 1 up at Burnley. Onyeka's back on his feet, and he's going to be just coming off to this near side for a short while, but looks like he's going to be okay to continue. 1-0 here to Cov.
Stanley Mills, you say, scored for Oxford. It's just stopped the worst run in their history of haven't scored in the last 5 at home in the Championship, Oxford United.
Well, they're trying their best to get themselves out of trouble at the foot of the table, Oxford. It's not been easy for them this season, and of course they're trying to catch up their former manager Gary Rowett, whose Leicester side lost 2-0 at home to Norwich at lunchtime.
What a good job he's done there at Norwich, Philippe Clement.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's been
settled everybody down a bit, got rid of Josh Sargent, didn't he, like the little bit of trouble that was occurring.
Got a good fee for him as well from Toronto, about 20 million quid. Here's a ball, lovely ball from Sorba Thomas to find Baijun Ho inside the area. Stoke try and respond to going behind, but Coventry clear their lines not once in the end, but twice. And it's nodded back by Talavierov into midfield. Drops back on halfway for Stoke. Gibson sends it out left to Sorba Thomas, who will just skip away from Esse for a moment. Keeps going down this near side, the left. Sorba Thomas flicks it infield to Cisse. Cisse driving for the dead ball line, goes down under minimal pressure, and it goes out for a goal kick. He wanted more than that, Lamine Cisse, but the referee says it's a goal kick to Coventry, who lead by 1-0 here on Talksport 2.
Well, I think Van Eyck, he might have just flicked Cisse's left eyelash dance to make him go down. It's very, very severe injury if you fracture your eyelash, trust me. And Cisse was actually, the thing that amazed me with that dance is he's actually away from Van Eyck. He's got away from him on the outside. He's going down the touchline, and there's just like a little brush, and he goes to ground. And to be fair, Andrew Kitchen, referee, just gives it the double arm. Nope, nothing to see here. And again, if you're Mark Robbins, you'd be saying, stay on your feet and just whip the ball across the 6-yard box.
1-0 here to Coventry City. Hadji Wright on the mark once again for the Sky Blues. We've played 18.5 minutes at the Coventry Building Society Arena. And it's going to be another long throw from Milan Van Eyck. From this near side to us, the Coventry right as they're attacking the south stand. Hurled in by Van Eyck into the near post. Drops at the edge of the area. Grimes tries to hit it left-footed, and it went over the bar. He was under pressure from 2 Stoke players, from Seko and Baijun Ho. Tried to get over the top of the ball and fire it goalwards, but the defenders did enough to put him off. Goal kick, 1-0.
Yeah, it was really good defending actually from Seko and Baijun Ho, because as the ball dropped down to Grimes on his left foot, you're thinking as it just sort of settles down, he's going to smash a volley. And to be fair, as you said, they both sort of rushed him and just made him hurry that little bit. And in the end, he couldn't let the ball drop as low as he wanted to. Took it too high, smashed it over Simpkins' crossbar.
Towering clearance from Bobby Thomas, almost got Hadji Wright in behind, but Phillips did enough at the back for Stoke. But a lovely bit of chest control from Lati Bogier, who's been playing more regularly of late at the back. It was Bobby Thomas and Liam Kitching that were the accepted centre-half partnership first half of the season, but Lati Bogier's played his way into favour.
It was a very appreciative round of applause, wasn't there, from the Coventry City face? It was like being at the theatre then, wasn't it? Just well played, actually, Lati Bogier. Very good chest control.
Southampton lead at Sheffield Wednesday. I nearly said Sheffield United then, but we know that Wednesday are already relegated. But Southampton, who've been on one heck of a run under Tonda Eckert, 6 wins in an unbeaten run of 8, just 4 points off Wrexham. They lead at Hillsborough in the Championship. 1-0 here to the leaders, Coventry. Going to stretch their lead over Middlesbrough to 8 as things stand, before Middlesbrough go to Birmingham City on Monday night. That game live on Talksport 2, your home with the EFL, 8 o'clock on Monday. Don't miss it. Here's Sorba Thomas. firing the ball over halfway, first time for the left-hand side, but again, Latibeaudiere is there to tidy up. Grimes finds Mason Clark, who couldn't quite take the ball with him at first, but now he's scampering towards the edge of the area, plays a 1-2 with Redoni across the face of goal, and had to be tucked behind by Ben Pearson for a Coventry corner to our right. 20 minutes gone, Coventry 1, Stoke 0.
Yes, down that left-hand side again. This time it's Grimes who just carries the ball, just feeds it into Redoni, who's obviously playing that number 10 position. He gets himself turned. Mason Clark is free on that left-hand side, goes on the outside of Tolleroff really, really easy, gets his cross in. To be fair to Stoke, they get bodies around at near post and get obviously the interception. Corner for Coventry City over on their left-hand side.
It's in the southeast corner, right-footed in swing at Paybe, but it's played short by Mason Clark to Redoni, gives it back to Mason Clark, level with the 18-yard line, floats in a right-footed cross, good defending initially by Stoke, headed out to the edge of the area, swing and a miss from Hadji right there at the edge of the box, and it allowed the ball to go all the way up to the halfway line as Stoke cleared it. Grimes with their first time ball down the centre of the field, but that'll bounce through to Tommy Simkin. Elsewhere, Wycombe lead Burton by 1-0 in League One. Wycombe 5 points off the playoffs. They lead at Adams Park, and Wimbledon have equalised at Mansfield. That's 1-1 at the one call. And in the Championship, it's James Bree who got that goal for Southampton at Hillsborough to give the Saints the lead over relegated Sheffield Wednesday. Here's Lamine Cissé scrambling for possession with Milan Van Eyck. But again, the round of applause around us will tell you that the Coventry player dealt with that the better. And Latibeaudiere takes the ball off his goalkeeper Rushworth. De Silva fires it up to Redoni just shy of the halfway line. Not much movement ahead of him, so he plays the ball backwards to square to Grimes. Grimes drives over halfway, tries to touch it forward. Redoni picks it up again, drifting infield to 30 yards out. Can't really be in the space to take a shot. There's too much around him, so it's worked out to Esser on this right-hand side, right-hand corner of the area, feints to cross, then gets it on his right, puts it to the far post, and Mason Clark with a header that Simkin catches on the goal line, just having to jump up. Lovely move from Coventry City, but they are only still 1-0 up on Talksport 2.
Yeah, really good wing play from Messi on Coventry's right-hand side. He's 1v1 up against Sorba Thomas, who doesn't want to be there, goes on the outside of him, then just dinks it up to far post to Mason Clark. I think he could get a better headed dance where he should be headed back across Simkin. He's tried to go over the top corner. In the end, it was a simple catch from Simkin, but really good play in the wide area again from Coventry City.
And again, Stoke lose possession on halfway. This time it's Seko that's dispossessed. And Onyeka just calmly lays it back. Just enjoying themselves out there for the moment, Perry, Coventry City.
Do you know what? I was just looking at Redoni. He could be in a Matthew Bourne production. Like, he's very balletic, is he, when he gets himself on the ball. Instead of red shoes, it could be like blue boots, couldn't it? He could change it completely.
He scored a quite wonderful goal that I saw at the Hawthorns last Saturday when we brought you on Talksport 2 against West Bromwich Albion. Absolutely clattered it home from outside the area, having carried the ball forward a good 40-50 yards. Exeter 0, Bolton 1 in League One. Bolton starting the day in third, 9 unbeaten, good run that the Trotters are on. And they lead at St James Park down there in Devon. In the Premier League, it's still Burnley 0, Brentford 1, Liverpool 1, West Ham 0, and Everton lead at Newcastle in the Premier League now. So goals in all three of the Premier League 3 o'clock kickoffs. And Liverpool are now 2 goals to the good against West Ham United at Anfield. Virgil van Dijk adding to Hugo Ekitike's earlier strike. Don't forget Talksport Breakfast back from 6 a.m. Monday morning. Ali McCoist and Ray Parler will be the double act, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank will be amongst their special guests. They'll be looking back on all the weekend sporting action, not forgetting Ali's thoughts on the Old Firm derby as Rangers and Celtic meet tomorrow lunchtime in what's a very crucial game. Just to let you know that in the Scottish Premiership, Hearts, who lead the Premiership at the moment, are still 0-0 with Aberdeen. 1-0 here to Coventry with 25 gone.
I mean, just looking at both teams, Dan, they both go like a sort of 4-4-2 and out of possession. At Stoke go with Cissé and Manoff as the sort of front two, and they're closing down, but there's not as much synchronicity in their closing downs as Coventry City's, and Coventry are the team that actually play past the press. We've just seen it exactly there from Rodoni. Just said a see you later to Secco.
And he's fed it down the left-hand side from Mason Clark in space into the area. Four to pull it back to. Oh, and it just misses out everybody. Rodoni gets to the loose ball, edge of the area. Onyeka gets a drive away, and it's well saved by Simpkin. So nearly 2-0 to Coventry City after another flowing counter-attack.
Well, it all started, it was very, very tight down Coventry's left-hand side, and it comes to Rodoni, who's facing the touchline on the left wing. Secco thinks, I've got you. He just drops his left shoulder, lets it roll across him. Secco goes out. I think he's going to have to pay to get back in the CBS Arena dance, honestly, because the feint and skill there from Rodoni was fantastic. Just releases Mason Clark, and actually he should pick a better pass at Mason Clark, because he's just rolled it across the 6-yard box, where he's actually just tried to cut it back. And in the end, it comes back to Hadji Wright. He gets his shot in, and it goes straight to Simpkin. But as I say, Coventry are completely invested in their press when they're out of position, where I don't think Stoke City are. You know, they're sort of looking at each other, wondering which player's going to go and close down, which one's going to sit off. And that's why Rodoni is getting so much space in that 10 position. And every time it's gone into naps, I can't remember, coming up to 27 minutes played, I can't remember a time when he's actually gave the ball away, or, you know, he's been sloppy in possession. Every time he's got it, you can tell that, you know, when the player's enjoying themselves and he's playing free, it's exactly how he's playing.
Really looks completely at home out there. And when you've got a manager like Frank Lampard teaching you how to be a better midfielder, can only do you good, as it's done Rodoni. You could see the potential was there when he was a Huddersfield player, and here he is at Coventry City, running the show effectively. A little break in play whilst Ben Pearson's been getting some treatment, and it remains 1-0 to Coventry City with 27 minutes gone. Brentford 1-0 up at Burnley. Liverpool, as you've just heard, 2-0 up against West Ham. Everton leading at Newcastle. And in the Championship, Ipswich 1-up. Oxford United 1-up against West Brom in that basement battle. Sheffield United 1-up, and Southampton edging towards the playoff places. They're 1-up at Sheffield Wednesday. Ball hooked high into the sky as play gets back underway here at the CBS Arena. Onyeka wins a header on halfway from Bajunho, and Grimes immediately looks to release Mason Clark. Pearson's back on for 11 against 11, but Mason Clark's going to go for goal, and touched wide by Simpkins. Super save from the Stoke goalkeeper, plunging down to his left-hand side. Ends up being a corner for Coventry as Mason Clark tried his luck that time.
Well, Mason Clark, I said before, has got Toliverov on toe stance. He knows full well that Toliverov doesn't fancy the 1v1s. Obviously, he's out of position in the right back position. Just goes on the outside, then comes back on the inside, gets it on his right foot. Looks like the ball's going to just nestle low down to left inside Simpkins' far left-hand post. Brilliant save from Simpkin. Corner for Coventry on their right-hand side.
It's going to be Jack Rodoni to take it as we approach the half hour. Left-footed in swinger right in front of the Stoke fans at that south end. Great pace on the delivery. Good punch clear by Simpkin. Very brave goalkeeping, but he got it clear for Stoke, but only on the left-hand side, where it's found by Jay Da Silva, who supplied the cross for the opener. He rolls it back for Lati Bergier, midway point of the Stoke half. And back it goes again to Lati Bergier as they decide just to keep possession. Brentford now 2-0 up at Burnley. Igor Thiago gets the second as a cross comes in, come to be dealt with by Tommy Simpkin, who's made a couple of important stops. So Burnley 0, Brentford 2, Liverpool 2, West Ham 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 1, and Oxford have just gone 2-0 up on managerless West Brom. Will Lancashire, the Spurs loanee, has doubled Oxford's lead.
It's a goal fest.
It is. That doesn't get Oxford out of the bottom three, but it gets them within 3 points of West Brom and within 2 of Leicester in that bottom three. So maybe the U's are not done quite yet. Millwall lead at Preston. Millwall starting the day in third, and they lead at Deepdale through Ryan Leonard. What a great run Millwall are on at the moment. They won 3 out of their last 4. They're just 4 points off Middlesbrough ahead of their game on Monday night at St Andrews. It's tightening up in all areas of the Championship table. Mansfield have gone back in front 2-1 against AFC Wimbledon. Stockport lead at Stevenage in the same division by 1-0. Stockport start the day in 5th, Stevenage just outside the playoffs in 8th. And Hearts have just gone 1-0 up against Aberdeen. Now here's Lamine Cissé, played it behind for Stoke City, left-hand side of the area, pulls it back. He was looking for the run of Manhoef, but he couldn't find him. Coventry had players back. It was unselfish from Lamine Cissé when he got away in space, but he couldn't find a teammate. Coventry still lead.
Brilliant ball from Bajan Ho on this left-hand side, outside of his right foot, just bends it into Cissé's path. I think he's got to be a bit more greedy, Dance there. He's in, there's nobody he can pick out really in the 18-yard box, so he should take the shot on.
Again, Rodoni just glides in field from the far left-hand touchline, chopping the ball in field. And then Talavierov, who's had a pretty rotten first half down that right-hand side, defensively speaking, for Stoke, just passes the ball straight out of play. That second Oxford goal appears to have been ruled out, has it? No, it does stand. It is 2-0. And here's Romain Esse for Coventry City. Gives the ball back to Milan van Ewijk on halfway. Thomas plays a square ball to Latibegier, middle of his own half. Keeps it away from Cissé. De Silva, a little bit wasteful. Gave it away to Manhoef on halfway, and Stoke have it back. Manhoef just lays it back to Gibson. Ball up to halfway. Manhoef flicks the ball round the corner. Gets it back from Bajan-Ho. That's good football from Stoke City. And Sorba Thomas running at Van Ewijk. Plays it back to Manhoef at the edge of the area. Shaping to try and find an angle to shoot maybe. Although he's looking for an angle. Passes back out to Thomas, who's got space to cross the ball. But as soon as he delivered the cross, Romain Esse got back and blocked it out of play for a throw. Good defending. 1-0 Coventry.
Good defending, as you said there, from Esse coming back and held out Van Ewijk. But it was really good defending from Grimes, the Coventry captain, Dance, because when Manhoef got it on the edge of the 18-yard box, wanted to get onto his right foot, but Grimes just made sure that he went and closed down, got really tight to him, just made Manhoef then check out and come back out to Thomas on this left-hand side. That enabled Esse to get his blocking as well.
Port Vale 1, Luton 1. Port Vale equalise at Vale Park, the bottom side, through Ben Waine, their New Zealander. Ball's back with Carl Rushworth in the Coventry City goal. 32 minutes gone on Talksport 2. We've got a bit of Super League for you tonight as we get towards midnight. From Las Vegas, Mark Wilson and former Super League man of steel Paul Cook will bring you Hull KR against Leeds Rhinos. That's 11:45 on Talksport 2 tonight after the golf. And then we'll bring you two further Super League games from Saturday night to Sunday morning. NRL fixtures in Las Vegas. Newcastle Knights against Queensland Cowboys, and then the Canterbury Bulldogs against the St George Illawarra Dragons. Here's Haji Wright for Coventry City, getting to the dead ball line, left-hand side, runs into trouble, but they just had to put it behind in the end, Stoke City. Such pressure was being applied that Ben Wilmot just had to toe poke it behind for another Coventry corner at the south stand end. 1-0 to the hosts.
Yeah, really good run from Haji Wright, just from the centre out into that left-hand channel. Just a nice little fed ball from De Silva down that channel. Phillips doesn't want to be out there. Phillips is one who tracks his run initially. Then obviously Gibson then gets across, helps out his fellow centre-half, corner for Coventry on the left-hand side.
It's Rodoni who's standing over it. Clutch of players around the 6-yard line. It's going to be an outswinger from Rodoni. Again, a couple of Coventry players loose at the edge of the area. It's very deep to the far post from Rodoni. He was looking for Van Ewijk. Grimes drives it back across the area. Onyeka trying to make room down the right-hand side of the box. Tries to chip it across the face of goal. It took a touch off a Stoke player. It's another corner as West Brom get a goal back at Oxford. Oliver Bostock, brought into the team today, has scored for West Brom. Oxford 2, West Brom 1. And Sheffield United have a second at QPR. Tyrese Campbell with a second for the Blades. So Rodoni with another corner. He's come across from left to right to in front of the Stoke fans. And he will drill this in left-footed in swinger. Onyeka standing next to the goalkeeper Simkin, keeping him engaged. Whipped in by Rodoni near post, right in front of goal. Driven in by Mason Clark, blocked on the line. And it came out to Haji Wright and he skied it. Admittedly, had to take the snapshot very quickly, but couldn't keep it down. And it's a goal kick to Stoke City. And with 10 minutes to half-time, Mark Robins, plenty of food for thought, but at least his team, Stoke, are only 1-0 down here to the leaders.
Yeah, they're still in the game, down to still jeopardy, but you just, out of the two teams, you could tell that, like Coventry, just playing with that little bit more sort of swagger, you know, when they're in possession. They're a little bit more sort of belief on what they're doing. Stoke have been a threat, especially when it comes out to Silver Thomas on this sort of left-hand side, but in these days of the logarithms and the analysts on the side and the laptops, whatever, I cannot believe that they haven't changed it over on that right-hand side for Stoke City with Toliviero, who is really struggling in that right-back position. Worst ways out, you'd say to Beijing Ho, look, for the next 5-10 minutes, you just sit in front of Toliviero and you make sure that you're the one who engages Mason Clark first. And what's happened as well, Rudoni's going out to that left-hand side because he realised there's weakness there and they're overloading it, and Stoke haven't done anything to combat it.
The thoughts of Perry Groves alongside me, Ian Danta, here at the CBS Arena. Wrexham lead at Charlton. Big goal for Wrexham. Ollie Rathbone makes it Charlton 0, Wrexham 1. Baijun Ho coming forward for Stoke, trying to toe poke it through at the edge of the area for the run of Manhoef. But that line of sky blue shirts got the touch and got it away. And here's Rudoni again, carrying the ball over the halfway line. Feeds it out to Mason Clark on the left-hand side. Now Rudoni's gone herring into the penalty area to join Essa and Wright. Mason Clark lays it back to Onyeka, edge of the D, and the shot is always rising and well over the bar from the Brentford loanee. Goal kick to Stoke as Coventry come knocking again.
Again, it's Rudoni's picking up left-hand side. Just looking at Stoke City, they've put Wilmot back out to that right-hand side now. Dance have actually done something about it, and Tolarov's come in to the left-hand side of the centre half. But to be fair, it took them half an hour to actually sort of try and combat the way that Coventry were attacking down that left-hand side.
Stevenage equalise at home to Stockport in League 1. Carl Piergianni, and the leaders in League 1, Cardiff, are 1-0 up at Doncaster. That's Alex Robertson putting the Bluebirds ahead. Ephraim Mason Clark as Coventry comes steaming forward yet again. Gets to the edge of the area, left-hand side, low right-footed drive is blocked by Ashley Phillips, and out of play for a throw. This is incessant Coventry City pressure.
Did you hear the gasp there from the Coventry City fans when it came to Rudoni and he had his Cruyff turn? As the ball drops out the air, it was a Cruyff half-volley turn where even the 28,500 Coventry fans went, oh, have I just seen that? Like, Rudoni looks like he's playing in an exhibition game at the moment. And again, if you're Mark Robbins, he's obviously changed the fullback position and Wilmot's gone out there, you'd be saying to Seko or Pearson, just go man-to-man for him, just follow him wherever he goes.
Grimes swirls a left-footed ball into the area for Coventry, headed out by Gibson. Back to the edge of the area it comes. Pearson manages to win the header, and then Seko just hooks it back over his head for Stoke, looking for Cisse on halfway, but it's tidied up by Coventry. I don't know whether we're going to get any sense out of Natalie Sawyer out of half-time, because it's now Burnley 0, Brentford 3 at Turf Moor. Kevin Sharder gets the third for the Bees, and Burnley look increasingly doomed at the foot of the table. And lots of goals at St James's. It's now Newcastle 1, Everton 2. Jacob Ramsey had equalised briefly for Newcastle, but Beto has restored Everton's lead at St James's Park.
I think Nat might be looking at, on the Ryanair website, Ryanair flying anywhere for next season, maybe, getting in the European positions, who knows?
We will find out at half-time when Natalie rejoins us.
Other budget airlines obviously.
Rudoni again, powering over the halfway line, running in between centre-halves, gives it to Wright, who drives it into the near post, and the shot on the follow-up was touched onto the crossbar, was it? No, it hit the angle of post and bar. Simpkin didn't get a touch. He had to make the first save bravely down at his near post, and once again Coventry City just flowing forward with such ease, and it's all Stoke can do to try and hold them back. 1-0.
Brilliant play again. It sounds like I'm Rudoni's agent, because it's come into him and all we keep saying is about Rudoni, but again he picks it up in 10 position, nobody around him, he just glides forwards at ease and he thinks, right, who am I going to pick out? Hadji Wright's unmarked on the left hand side, he rolls it to him, Hadji Wright gets the ball onto his left foot. It's a really good save initially from Simpkin, comes back out to Hadji Wright, smashes it, comes back off the crossbar.
And here they come again, Coventry City. Onyeka can't quite ride the challenge of Gibson, but he'll get it back as Van Eyck feeds it down the right hand side to him, tries to play it through the legs of Baijun Ho, and there was a foul by Onyeka on the Korean, and Stoke get a free kick. 5 minutes to half time, 1-0 to Coventry City. Lincoln lead Blackpool by a goal to nil. 15 unbeaten under Michael Skubala. Lincoln 1 point off Cardiff at the start of the day, and they lead Blackpool, and it's Conor McGrandles from midfield that's got the goal for the Imps. And 1-0 here to Coventry City. No further goals to tell you about in the Championship or in the Premier League. Brentford 3-0 up, Liverpool 2-0 up, and Everton 2-1 up. And earlier today, Bournemouth and Sunderland drew 1-1. And in the Championship earlier today, wins for Derby and Norwich and Hull City. You heard that game live on Talksport 2 as the Tigers got a 1-0 win at Portsmouth. Here is Talavierov, touched out by Wilmot to this left-hand side for Stoke and Sorba Thomas. And Pearson feeds it back to Talavierov, who's playing on the left side of the centre-halves now. Phillips still on the right of the centre-halves. Wilmot's moved to right back, and he finds Manhoef, who feeds it into Seko. Just trying to keep the ball here for a few moments, Stoke City, because it's been a stranger to them for the last 10 minutes or so. Ashley Phillips, centre-half, just shy of the halfway line, plays it out to Wilmot. Run being made down the inside right from Seko, touches it neatly off to Manhoef. Thomas calling for it on this near side, he's going to get it. Lovely pass from Manhoef to find him. Level with the 18-yard line. Swirls across in, there were plenty forward. Good header clear by Lati Bogier. It's a lovely ball in from Sorba Thomas, but nobody in red and white could get their head to it. Thomas again, left-hand side, running at Van Ooyk, goes on the outside of him. Good ball into the near post, and it's cleared away by Bobby Thomas for a throw right next to the corner flag. 1-0 Coventry, but Stoke showing a bit more ambition. Quickly taken throw from Thomas. Worked back to Talavierov, and he's looking for an option, has to go back via Gibson to his goalkeeper Simpkin. But that was a good move from Stoke City there, Perry Groves.
Well, it was outstanding from Bobby Thomas at the near post, just getting his clearance in, and outstanding from Sorba Thomas on this left-hand side, just going on the outside of Van Ooyk, getting his cross in, but couldn't get a Stoke City player on the end of it.
Here he is again, Sorba Thomas, running at Van Ooyk, left-hand corner of the area, skips away from him, and Onyeka wraps his foot round a right-footed shot, blocked at source by Van Ooyk, but Manhoef might be able to keep it in play on the far side. He can't do so. He's well marshalled by Jay Da Silva, and he looks a bit aggrieved at that. Does Miljan Manhoef had a little bit of a shove out at Jay Da Silva, but nothing's going to be said by the referee. 2.5 minutes to half-time. Coventry lead Stoke by 1-0, but by my reckoning they've had 13 shots, just less than half of which have been on target, but they're only 1-0 up, Perry.
Yeah, you just look at both teams. It hasn't been a shocking performance from Stoke City, Dance, by
it's just been dominant from Coventry.
Yeah, Coventry just look more assured. You know, they look more assured when they're in possession. They're just a little bit sort of more fluid in their passing. But you have to say Stoke still have a threat, because Manhoef, you know, he's got good vision when he gets himself in 10 position. Obviously Sorba Thomas out on this left-hand side had a good little battle with Van Ooyk, but at the moment Coventry City just so more quality going forward.
And they are in front, but only 1-0 Coventry, with a minute and a half plus added time to the break. Sorba Thomas does really well to keep the ball in play on this near side after it was fizzed across from the right-hand side. Cisse tries to release Bajunho down the left-hand side of the area. Ball was awkward for him to try and control, and by the time he caught up with the ball, it had gone over the byline. Goal kick for Coventry City away to our left at the north stand end. We've got the first goal of the 3 o'clocks in League 2. Oldham have taken the lead against Crawley. Crawley struggling just above the drop zone. No winning 5, and Jack Stevens has given Oldham the lead at Boundary Park. So we're approaching half-time here. Ipswich have just scored a second against Swansea. Ivan Azon adding to Anis Mehmeti's early goal. 1-0 here to Coventry. We're in the last minute of normal time in this first half. Hadji Wright, the goal scorer, loses a header on halfway, but Da Silva lobs it forward, but that's a good cushion header from Ben Gibson to get it back to the Stoke keeper Tommy Simpkin. Bowls it out immediately to Wilmot, up to Manhoef, but he's been dispossessed by Da Silva, and it'll break for Rodoni again, charging towards the area, plays it inside to Hadji Wright, 30 yards from goal, trying to slip it in for the run of Essa, but there was a Stoke leg in there to divert it clear. Stoke win it, Coventry win it back. Jay Da Silva, left-hand side on the run, crosses along the deck into the area as we go into 3 minutes of minimum added time at the end of this first half. And Coventry continue to dominate territory inside the Stoke half of the field. They've got a throw that Grimes sends back into Lati Bogier.
Well, this is just game management now from Coventry City, because worst ways out, Dan, they want to be going for the dominance they've had in this first half. At least, obviously, 1-0 up, whether they want to press in this last couple of minutes to try and get the second goal.
Liverpool 3, West Ham 0. Alexis McAllister, as Stoke get the ball calmly back to their goalkeeper Simpkin once again. Yeah, Alexis McAllister with the third Liverpool goal. And that puts paid to any thoughts that West Ham might be able to keep their decent recent run going. 4 unbeaten going into their trip to Anfield. Now Talavierov is under pressure from Essa and Haji Wright, but he's won a goal kick in the end for Stoke City. And given the paucity of options that Mark Robins has on the bench, it's hard to know where he can go to try and affect change for the Potters in this second half. Perry's got 3 kids there who've never kicked a ball for the Stoke senior side. I very much doubt he'll call on any of them at this point.
Well, the only thing that you could do, you got Stephen Nzonzi, haven't you, who's a very, very experienced sort of centre midfield player. Maybe you could put him in on to get a little bit more physicality in there, a little bit more assurance, especially against the threat of Rodoni. And then going forward, you've got Raksaki, who could, play in the wide areas. But you said there, defensively, he hasn't got that many options, but at least, again, I can't believe it took him so long to change it, to put Wilmot out, onto the right back position, and Talavierov to come in left-sided centre-half, because Talavierov, I think he'll have to put his head in an ice bucket at half-time, because he was exposed, which isn't his fault. It's not his natural position, and Mason Clark and De Silva down Coventry's left-hand side were having an absolute field day.
Played 2 minutes of the added time. Coventry 1, Stoke 0. Stoke have a free kick just shy of the halfway line, and the referee is telling Romain Essa to get 10 yards away from the ball before Sorba Thomas strikes this free kick. Coventry holding their line 30 yards from goal. It's gone to the left-hand corner of the area. Gibson heads it into the Coventry box, but it's well dealt with by Van Eyck. Can they prevent the corner though, or was it a throw-in? It's a throw-in right by the corner flag for Stoke City, as we're in the last knockings of the first half. Coventry 1 goal up, could, and you might argue should be, so much more, and it has been given us a corner. I do beg your pardon, Sorba Thomas is just placing the ball down in that northwest quadrant.
You can hear the silence of the nervousness of the Coventry City fans, realising obviously this is a chance for Stoke City to get himself back on.
Sorba Thomas drives the kick in, and it is in! Stoke equalise, and it's Ben Gibson who got his head to flick it in from the near post from Sorba Thomas's neat delivery. And for all of Coventry's dominance in this first half, they could only get 1 goal, and with the last kick of the first half, Stoke equalise. Coventry 1, Stoke 1.
Well, Sorba Thomas, that's the best of you. Taking a brilliant in-swinging corner from his left-hand side with his right foot. Ben Gibson getting away from his marker at near post. Just gets a little flick on with the top of his head. Gives Rushworth and Coventry got absolutely no chance. Dance. I said you could hear the silence, couldn't you? You could hear the anticipation of the Coventry City fans thinking, please don't go in at 1-1 because we've been so far on top of you. Please defend this corner. And to be fair to Stoke City, that little bit of quality that we said that they had came to the fore. Brilliant delivery from Thomas. Excellent header from Gibson.
And so it's all square at the Coventry Building Society Arena, and "You're Not Singing Anymore" is directed at the Coventry fans around us from the Stoke fans in the South Stand. Southampton are 2-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday as well, and the referee blows for half-time as soon as the kick-off is taken. And all the applause you can hear is from the Stoke fans to our right, as they have got themselves somehow level in this game right on the whistle. Coventry have been going and going at Stoke City all the way through this first half. Haji Wright had given Coventry the lead on 12 minutes from Jay De Silva's precise cross. Rodoni has been fantastic in midfield. Mason Clark and Essa have been buzzing around the Stoke penalty area. Simpkins had to make a couple of saves. But at the end of the half, Sorba Thomas's corner and a very deft flick header at the near post from Ben Gibson has given Stoke a share of the spoils at half-time. That's music to the ears of teams like Middlesbrough and Ipswich and Hull, just below the league leaders. But we've seen Coventry go through the gears before. They're going to have to do it again. At the break on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. It's Coventry City 1, Stoke City 1.
Ian, thank you very much. OK, let's look over that first half with Perry Groves then. And they always say, don't they, Perry, that just before half-time might be one of the worst times to concede.
Yeah, very much so. Nat, we said when I think the assistant said there was 3 minutes of added on time, I said Coventry needed to see that 3 minutes out, and worst ways out getting 1-0 up at half-time, because Stoke were always the threat going forward. That's exactly how it panned out. And when the corner was given, honestly, now I don't know if it came across, you could hear the anxiety through the probably 28,500 Coventry fans, where they were all thinking, please just defend this corner, please just get the first header. And to be fair to Sorma Thomas, who's been their biggest threat on the left-hand side for Stoke City, his corner into his right foot was excellent. Ben Gibson's move was great, starts off in the middle of the 6-yard box, gets himself to the near post, and just a really clever, deft, glancing header, gets the first contact, gives Rushworth no chance, takes a little deviation on the way a bit was going in anyway, and Stoke City get themselves in at 1-1, where they have been dominated in that first half.
I mean, it has been pretty much, as you say, all Coventry in that game. And if you go back to their goal, I mean, what stood out for me, which I was most shocked about, and I'm sure Mark Robbins would not be happy about it, Perry, was that it felt like the Stoke players were just, well, standing off the Coventry advance. It felt like a training ground goal, like they were told, don't make any tackles, don't press, don't try and stop them. And it became quite an easy goal for Coventry to score from.
Well, that was what happened, Nat, to be fair, down the left-hand side. It was happening quite often, because we said about Tolivierov was playing out in the right back position, he's predominantly at the centre half, and you could tell from the first minute when Mason Clark took him one, but he didn't want to be there, he didn't want to be playing in right back position because he was getting exposed, he wasn't getting any help. You've got to have the likes of Bajan Ho getting back and helping him out, or Seko helping out, and that wasn't happening, and they built it up down that left hand side, went from Mason Clark to De Silva. De Silva actually finds himself 1v1 with Tolivierov. He goes on the outside of him, he doesn't stop the cross, he just dinks it up to the far post, and Haji Wright just pulls into the middle of the 6-yard box, and it's a free header. And as you said there, it looked very, very simple. It was good quality from Coventry's point of view. They made it look simple, but there wasn't that over my dead body defending, which Stoke have normally been good at this season.
It's obviously an important goal for Stoke to get themselves back on level terms, but the way results are going right now, it's not ideal for them. It feels like this has a must-win element for them, because they're now 9 points off 6th place Wrexham, who are winning at Charlton this afternoon. So does it feel as though this does have that must-win feel for Stoke?
I think at the moment Mark Robbins will just be in the now. He won't be worried about what's going on, the other results, where they are in the league table, because they've been given a little bit of a schooling out of possession in the first half, and they've done well to hang on in there and get in at 1-1. So now he'll be sort of regrouping and just getting themselves a little bit better set up defensively, because every time Coventry went forward, they looked like they was going to score. And we said about Ridoni, didn't we, before the game? He has been, Dance and myself are lucky enough we're getting paid to actually to watch this, but coming in here, it's 45p a mile, Dance, it's expensive, you know what I mean? We're right. Yeah, exactly. But to watch a player with that quality, it's been absolutely a pleasure and a joy, because he just between, like, he could be an ice skater, it's one for the teenagers, but Robin Cousins and John Curry from my era. I said about he could be in the ballet.
We just had a Winter Olympics. Couldn't you give us a more up-to-date sort of...
No, I'm stuck back in the 70s and 80s. I'm stuck in the 70s and 80s, you know me exactly. And I said that he could be in the Matthew Bourne ballet, because he's got such brilliant poise and balance and whatever. So I think out of the two managers, Mark Robbins will be absolutely delighted, because it'll be a different team talk, because they've gone in at 1-1. And Frank Lampard will be seething inside, but he'll have to go in there and say how well that Coventry City have played in that first half. But the cardinal sin is you switch off at this level in the Championship for 2 seconds, and you actually you feel that an injustice in it, but it's your fault because you've got to make sure you concentrate. So, and you get punished. So this is why we love the Championship, because there's always jeopardy in it. So it's proper game on in the second half.
It certainly is that. Perry and Ian, for now, thank you very much. We'll chat more to you ahead of the second half and bring you that in full, of course, on Talksport 2. But right now, let's look ahead to tonight's Premier League action as Leeds host title-chasing Manchester City. That from 5:30. We're joined now by Talksport reporter Mark Wilson to look ahead to the game. Mark, how are you?
Yeah, good. All looking forward to it. Should be a cracking game tonight, certainly.
Yeah, very, very much so, especially when you consider what happened when they met previously back in November, because it was all looking pretty good for Manchester City, and then Leeds fought back, and I know in the end City broke Leeds' hearts, but if it's something like that, you should be set for a cracker.
Yeah, we should be, and I think you're right to mention that game because, all right, Leeds didn't get the result, but it's been a big turning point for Daniel Farke and Leeds United, a change of tactics midway through that game that saw Leeds get back into it. They didn't get their just desserts that day, but they have since then been really tough. They've only lost 2 of the last 16 games since that loss at the Etihad, so they're becoming an entirely different proposition. I think Manchester City will come here expecting a really tough tie this afternoon.
Yeah, very much so. And how important is it for Manchester City to win this one to pile the pressure on Arsenal?
Yeah, of course. You've got to keep asking the question. They're 5 points behind, but they do have a game in hand. Obviously, Arsenal have got a tough game themselves over the weekend as well. So City can get a win here. They're back within 2 and they're breathing firmly down Arsenal's neck. And there's a lot of twists and turns to come, aren't there? But there might be a twist tonight and it might go Arsenal's way. Who knows? Leeds might get an unexpected result.
Well, you never know. As it stands, Manchester City are 5 points off Arsenal. And as for Leeds, they are 6 points clear of the bottom 3. So lots to play for both of these sides. Mark, enjoy it. Thank you very much for being with us, and we'll have regular updates from that game during the game day phone-in on TalkSport from 5:30. You can get your calls in already. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on 03717 223344 to have your say on all of today's action. Next here on TalkSport 2, the second half coming your way between Coventry and Stoke. You're tuning into EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 and over. Free fees applied to delivery orders, subject to availability. Price may vary.
Your live sports station.
Oh, what a move.
This is Talksport 2. EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
It's the last chance to get yourself a ticket for tonight's Lotto draw.
It could be you.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Claim approved. Direct Line's ready to send my new laptop within 2 hours.
That's how it's done. Imagine if everything was that easy.
Like teaching little Johnny to play his recorder.
Oh my. Oh, he's a musical genius.
Direct Line. That's how it's done.
Theft and accidental loss claims up to £3,000. Cover limits apply. Personal possessions cover needed for items outside the home.
Ticket, please. Thank you. Tickets, please, madam.
Sure, let me just... Oh, this jacket's got so many pockets.
No rush.
Got it on eBay. Vintage. One of a kind.
I just need your ticket, madam.
Couldn't find it anywhere. Then, ta-da! eBay. Total bargain.
That's nice.
Oh, thank you.
But I still need to see your ticket.
Oh, yeah, sure.
With great deals on things you love, you can't help but say when it's eBay. Things people love.
Yorkshire Tea, where everything's done proper. Yorkshire Tea, brew strength made at your own discretion. Boiled water not included. Or mugs, milk in second, always. For exceptions visit, no chance. Not ever, ever. Best stir clockwise, except on Tuesdays. Can accept no responsibility for squeezed tea bags left on countertop. Refer to box for details. Best stirred with a spoon, not your finger. May be enjoyed outside Yorkshire. Sheep on front of box not included. Nor is small cottage, nor is Sky. We don't know what the cricket score was. For best results, drink. May contain hot liquid. Whew, blimey.
To whoever finds this letter, my car broke down. There is nothing nearby. And I've already eaten my meal deal sandwich. Please tell my wife that I love her and that she was right. This jacket isn't waterproof. Signed, Daniel S. Oh, actually, scrap that. Green Flag's just arrived. Blimey, less than an hour.
Local rescue, nationwide. Nothing beats near. Green Flag.
On average, we get to breakdowns in under an hour based on app and phone call-outs combined. See greenflood.uk/data.
Aqua Uniprimer is made by us, Dulux Trade.
And approved by professional painters like me and you.
It's made to get a grip on all major surfaces.
From wood to metal, tiles to UPVC, inside or out. You name it, this stuff sticks.
And it's made to be recoat ready in 60 minutes.
So we can get the job done.
Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer. It's made by us.
And approved by you. And me.
Put it to the test. Try Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer today.
Get 3 months half price when you switch to an unlimited SIM with 3. That means quick streaming, faster downloads, and more money to spend on the things you love. Join the UK's fastest 5G network and get your unlimited SIM today. Buy now in store or c3.co.uk.
Unlimited 24-month light plan. Proof of switching required. Based on Ookla speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved. Subject to credit checks and terms.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Right, put it on! What a goal!
EFL Live on Talksport 2. This is game day. Half-time classifieds.
You're listening to Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. I'm Natalie Sawyer, and let's get to your half-time classified scores, starting with
Premier League.
In the early kick-off, it finished Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1. At the break, it's Burnley 1, Brentford 3, Liverpool 3, West Ham 0, Newcastle 1, Everton 2.
Sky Bet Championship.
In the early games, Derby beat Blackburn 3-1. Norwich were 2-0 winners at Leicester, and Hull beat Portsmouth by 1-0 at Fratton Park. At the break, it's Charlton 0, Wrexham 1. In our live game, it's Coventry 1, Stoke 1. Ipswich 2, Swansea 0, Oxford 2, West Brom 1, Preston 0, Millwall 1, QPR 0, Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 2.
Sky Bet League 1.
2 games kicked off earlier, and it finished Barnsley 3-1 at Leyton Orient, and it was 1-1 between Northampton and Peterborough. At half-time, it's Doncaster 0, Cardiff 1, Exeter 0, Bolton 1, Lincoln 1, Blackpool 0, Mansfield 2, AFC Wimbledon 1, Port Vale 1, Luton 1, no goal between Reading and Bradford. It's Rotherham 1, Plymouth 0, Stevenage 1, Stockport 0, goalless between Wigan and Huddersfield, and it's Wickham 1, Burton 0.
Sky Bet League 2.
In the 3 early kick-offs, it finished Cambridge 1, MK Dons 1, Walsall 2-1 winners at Shrewsbury, and Swindon and Bristol Rovers played out a 1-1 draw. At the break, it's Barnet 0, Chesterfield 0, Barrow 0, Gillingham 0, Bromley 1, Accrington Stanley 1, no goals between Colchester and Salford. Tranmere are 1-0 up at Crewe, and it's goalless between Fleetwood, Newport and Notts County and Grimsby, and Oldham are 1-0 up at home to Crawley. Oh, I should clarify that one for you. It is... What was that one in League 1? Stevenage 1, Stockport 1, I should have said. Thank you very much. Right. We are awaiting the second half then at the CBS Arena, where it is 1-1 between Coventry and Stoke, as Stoke scored a late leveller just before that half-time whistle. So let's take you back to your commentary team for this one. Perry Groves is alongside Ian Danta.
Thank you very much, Natalie. We've just had a parade of 50 Coventry City legends on the pitch at half-time, from throughout the eras from the 50s up to the 2010s. Players like Darren Huckabee, Dave Bennett, Dave Boost, Michael Mifsud and others have been paraded. Lovely little display for the Coventry fans to show their appreciation for generations of Coventry players that have represented their club with such distinction down the years. But now back to the business of securing 3 points this afternoon, but it is 1 apiece as we prepare to go into the second half. And Coventry do have the best home record in the division. Only 3 draws, 12 wins, and the 1 defeat that they had was in December when they lost 2-0 to Ipswich Town. Whereas Stoke's away record, actually it's not bad, Stoke's away record, 6 wins, 4 draws and 7 defeats, but it's the goal tally that's the intriguing one. It's now 16 goals for and 16 against. So they keep it tight at the back, but they don't score many either. But it is 1 apiece. There's no changes from either manager at half-time, Perry. So, as you were, let's see who's given the better half-time team talk, shall we?
Well, I think obviously Mark Robbins would be the most positive of the two managers, because they've managed to claw their way back into the game at 1-1. So Frank Lampard will be disappointed, but he won't be able to show his Coventry City players that disappointment, because he's got to say to them, I just want to see exactly the same in the second half.
Stoke on the attack in the second half already with Sorba Thomas, left-hand corner of the area. Lays it off to Bar Jun-ho. Pearson will give it back out to Thomas on the left-hand side. He's got two Coventry players for company, so he lays it back to Ben Gibson. Swirls across into the box. Cisse heads it down. It was on target, but a very comfortable save for Rushworth. I'll quickly run you through the lineups for Coventry. Rushworth in goal, a back four of Van Eyck, Thomas, Latibeaudiere and De Silva. Onyeka and Grimes holding, then Essa, Redoni and Mason Clark behind Hadji Wright. For Stoke, Simkin the keeper, Wilmot, Phillips, Talavierov and Gibson, Secco and Pearson, Manhoof, Junho and Thomas, and then Cisse in attack. And the ball is with Coventry, and they're all sky blue, attacking the north stand as they like to do in the second half of games. Stoke in their first choice colours, as well as the red and white striped shirts with white shorts and socks. And the ball's back with on loan Coventry keeper Carl Rushworth, who just passes short out to Matt Grimes, who's just splitting the two centre halves for the moment. Plays it left to Latibeaudiere. Back it goes to Matt Grimes once more, and played out to this near touchline, well, the far touchline rather, with Bobby Thomas hits the ball over the top for Hadji Wright, tries to get him behind the defence. He did, but Simkin made an important save, and it was only when he got the shot away did the flag go up for offside on the far side against the American, who had put Coventry ahead early doors.
Yeah, just on the first looks, it was a great little ball fed in from Bobby Thomas, right hand side centre half for Coventry City, just over the top of Stoke's back four, and Hadji Wright at first look danced, and he looked about a yard and a half, 2 yards offside. Even he thought he was offside, so his finish was very, very sort of sloppy, where if he felt he was onside, then he'll just be helping it over Simkin, like volley it over him. He just sort of didn't dangle his right foot out and tried to toe poke it past him, and in the end the assistant on our far side decided to put the flag up eventually after 2-3 seconds.
Redoni loses out just inside the Coventry half of the field. It's back with Wilmot, plays it out to Manhoof on this right hand side. Bit of encouragement for the Stoke fans away to our right in the south stand. That's the end that Stoke will be attacking in this second period. Burnley have got another goal back against Brentford. Burnley 2, Brentford 3. Somebody checked Natalie's blood pressure, and it was Jayden Anthony that's got it. And West Ham are going to go back at Anfield. Liverpool 3, West Ham 1. Thomas Souček. Stoke coming forward down the right hand side of the area, but Latibeaudiere gets in front of Cisse and guides the ball calmly back to Rushworth, but his first time clearance lands midway point of the Stoke half, and Talavierov will give it back to his goalkeeper Simkin. Just plays a short, simple pass out to Ashley Phillips. He will drive it downfield for Stoke up to halfway, and Cisse's got all the time in the world to chest it down and find Bar Jun-ho next to him, and then Bar just feeds it out to Wilmot. Chips it down the right hand side of the area. Secco flicks it across the box, and it was an important bit of defending from Latibeaudiere to get his chest in the way, because if he'd not got there was a Stoke player running in on goal. Throw into Stoke, 1-1.
There's a good run from Secco, normally playing in that deep midfield position. Decided to maraud down that inside right channel, really well picked out. Couldn't quite get it under control. He said dance, then Coventry able to get the ball and break away.
Cardiff have a second at Doncaster. Dylan Lawler for the League One leaders. So all the top three in League One are winning. Bolton 1 up at Exeter, and Lincoln 1 up at home to Blackpool.
Do you want to give a name stat of the day?
You've got one? Of course you have.
Doncaster Rovers won their last 2 home league games against teams from Wales, but not won 3 on the spin versus teams from the Principality since April 1985. Your life will never be the same again.
Well, they wouldn't have pinned that up in the dressing room beforehand, would they? At least I'm guessing not.
Bit of motivation.
Perry Groves alongside me. Ian Dante. Perry's going to be part, as usual, of Sunday Game Day live on Talksport. 4 Premier League games, including the little matter of Arsenal against Chelsea. And Perry will be joining Sam Matterface and the team from 1:30 tomorrow afternoon for your Sunday afternoon delight and delectation on Talksport. Here's Ben Pearson for Stoke. Sorry, Perry,
you just saw something a little bit different there. Redoni obviously dropping deep, trying to get the ball to feet and Phillips just went in really tight, and it was actually a foul because he pushed him in his back. But Andrew Kitchen's obviously on the wrong side, couldn't see it. But you can bet your life that at half-time, Mark Robbins has said, when Rudoni gets it, if he drops deep, I don't care if it's one of the centre-halves that goes in and tracks him in, you cannot let him turn. He did it about 5 or 6 times in that first half, so Phillips just got a little bit tighter.
Bai Jun-ho drifting down the inside left channel for Stoke, inside the Coventry half, plays a 1-2 and gets to the dead ball line, along the deck into the area, didn't find a red and white striped shirt defender at the near post by Coventry, and they've kept it in play on that far side of the field. And then Onyeka wins a throw off a Stoke boot. But the noise you can hear right now is the encouragement the Stoke fans are getting from the way the away team have started this second half, having equalised right on the half-time whistle. 1-1 here.
Yeah, that goal from Gibson has given them that little bit of sort of confidence. You know, they're a bit of more of a spring in the step, half a yard sharper. And Bai Jun-ho has gone in the 10th position now. Manoff sort of gone to the right-hand side of the free. And we just saw Bai Jun-ho there just drifting down that left-hand channel. Couldn't quite get his cross across the 6-yard box. Good defending from Thomas at the near post.
Certainly Coventry nowhere near as dominant at the start of this second half as they were at spells during the first. You're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Hull have won today. Ipswich are also winning at home to Swansea. Those two meet on Tuesday night. I'll be there for Talksport 2 with Darren Ambrose. Ipswich against Hull for your Tuesday night championship offering. And on Monday night, we've got Birmingham City against Middlesbrough. 8 o'clock. Hopefully, Perry will want to stay and watch that in the pub with me as we're working together on Monday afternoon. No. Oh, okay.
What's that? Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You're going to give me some...
All depends if my team wins the quiz or not, to be fair.
We'll find more details about that in due course, Talksport 2 listeners, because just to give you a hint, we are edging towards the 10th anniversary of Talksport's launch, when I was at Cheltenham Racecourse, when Talksport 2 came into being. Amazing, 10 years. That's next month. And we're nearly into March here in this football season, when things get really, really tasty and interesting. And here come Coventry City, the league leaders, with De Silva chipping the ball into the box. White goes down under pressure from Talavierov. There were howls for a penalty kick there from the fans at the North Stand end, but Andrew Kitchen waves away the protest. Coventry win the ball back, and it's back on halfway with Lati Bogier.
Yeah, I think it was just coming together at the far post. Hadji Wright just trying to get across Talavierov. I don't think actually Talavierov has, run across his path intentionally. Andrew Kitchen just had a little glance over his right shoulder. Nothing to see here. Coventry keep possession. Just to remind you, in Scotland, Hearts, the league leaders are 1-0 up at home to Aberdeen. Motherwell, who were trying to close down Celtic and Rangers, they're 2-0 up on Dundee United. 8 unbeaten in the league, the Mothers. Here come Coventry City with Milan Van Eyck down the right-hand side. And Essa tries to pirouette the edge of the area, ran straight into Talavierov. Good challenge from the defender, but then Sorba Thomas is robbed by Van Eyck. Here comes Jay De Silva, never scored for Coventry, plays it out left for Hadji Wright in the area, gets inside one defender, it's turned goalwards by Rudoni. What a save by Tommy Simkin. Low down to his left, Rudoni got as much power on the shot as he could. It's screwed towards goal, but Simkin threw out a left paw and held on to it. 1-1. Really good play from Coventry, just coming from the middle of the pitch out to this left-hand side. Hadji Wright trying to get onto his right foot, just has a heavy touch, comes to Rudoni. Rudoni swivels with his left foot. It's a brilliant save from Tommy Simkin, low down to his left-hand side, because his body weight's going the wrong way. That's the third world-class save that Simpkin's pulled off for Stoke City to keep them in this game. Frank Lampard has decided to make a change with 9 minutes gone in the second half. He's bringing on Victor Torp here, and Frank Onyeka's coming off, and I think that might be relevant to the injury he picked up in the first half, Perry Groves. Yeah, I think he just landed awkwardly on his shoulder, and you could just tell that his movement wasn't as free as what it normally is from Onyeka. Well, Victor Torp isn't a bad replacement, let's face it. Yeah, just a like for like. Torp will just go in that centre midfield area. He was a bit of a goal machine at the start of the season, but he hasn't scored since November against West Brom. Victor Torp, he's got 7 this campaign. And just like the player he's replaced, Frank Onyeka, he came through at the Michelin Club, which has been a great source of talent from European football in recent years. So Torp on, Onyeka off. That's the first change made by
either manager with 10 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport 2. Or a pass back from Gibson. It will make its way through to Simpkin. I thought for a moment that Hadji Wright might have been able to cut it off. Cisse heads it up in the air just by the centre circle for Stoke. Volleyed downfield by Torp, but there's nobody there in a sky blue shirt. So just to recap the scores in Scotland: Dundee 1, Hibs 1, Falkirk 4, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, St Mirren 1, and Motherwell 2, Dundee United 0. In the Premier League, it's still Burnley 2, Brentford 3, Liverpool 3, West Ham 1, and Newcastle 1, Everton 2. Earlier today, Bournemouth and Sunderland drew 1 apiece, live on Talksport at lunchtime. And there are no further goals to report in the early stages of the second half in this division, the Championship, where Coventry, the league leaders, are being held 1-1 at the moment by Stoke City, and both sets of fans are trying to rally the troops. It's the Stoke fans you can actually hear dominating Perry Groves just about at the moment.
Yeah, we've actually got something to shout about, because for long periods in the first half their team were being dominated, so they was just... I think they'd have been happy to go in just 1-0 down, wouldn't they, to be fair, at half-time, and then obviously they get the equaliser Gibson. So again, the Stoke City fans have got that sort of adrenaline rush now, where they know that their team win the game. They've come out more positive in the second half.
And a new record attendance has been set at the Coventry Building Society Arena. 31,516 inside the ground today. They keep breaking records, this club. Can they get back to the Premier League for the first time in a generation?
So it's quite good there. The Coventry City fans, what was it, probably like, it said 28,529, give themselves a massive pat on the back, wasn't it? It was just a warm round of applause for themselves. It's like, haven't we done well? Well done us.
They're thinking back to the season spent at Sixfields and at St Andrews, when they led that nomadic existence as a football club. But now, as I mentioned to Natalie in our introduction, they've got more season ticket holders here than they've ever had. Over 20,000. And add to that the walk up and the away attendance, you've got yourself a record attendance here this afternoon. Mansfield 2, Wimbledon 2 in League 1. Wimbledon equalised for a second time, and Stevenage 2-1 up on Stockport County now, coming from behind in League 1. Now down the right hand side, offside flag goes up against Hadji Wright. It's going to wind up the locals a little bit. Still a little bit of sunshine into that far corner of the stadium, so a lot of supporters in that northeast corner having to shield their eyes from the setting sun behind the stand that we're sat in. Just to remind you of the scores in the Championship at the moment. In the 3 o'clocks, Charlton 0, Wrexham 1, Coventry 1, Stoke 1 here, Ipswich 2-0 up on Swansea, Oxford 2-1 up on West Brom in that basement battle, Millwall 1 up at Preston, Sheffield United 2-0 up at QPR, and Sheffield Wednesday have just got a goal back at home to Southampton. Jerry Yates making it Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 2. So as things stand in the Championship, Coventry would be 6 points clear of Middlesbrough with a point that they're earning right now. Millwall are a point behind Middlesbrough with the win they're getting at Preston. Ipswich 2 points further back with the win they're getting over Swansea. And Hull, who won at lunchtime, level on points with Ipswich. Stoke trying to defend here as a crossfield ball is hit to Rodoni. Great control and a little back flick to get De Silva in left hand side, but the cross is poor. Ashley Phillips doesn't deal with it brilliantly though. Baijian Ho heads it further out the penalty area, and Rodoni stabs it back to Grimes. De Silva again by the left hand corner of the area, gives it to Jack Rodoni. De Silva works it up to the left hand corner of the area. Rodoni tries to ride the ricochet, claims for a handball. Cisse looked like he got pushed over not once but twice, but Latibogier, and the referee says play on, and then Cisse does go down a third time, fouled by Torp. That's given us a free kick, and the home fans are disgraced by that decision.
Yeah, to be fair, it looked like it was a foul on Cisse the first time, and he got the ball sort of stuck underneath his feet and between his feet, and then as the 3 Coventry City players just sort of grouped around him, Torp just got a little bit too agitated, and he ended up kneeing him in the back of his thigh, and Cisse goes to the ground, quite rightly. Andrew Kitchen, he was trying his best dance, wanting to let the play continue and give an advantage, but in the end it was a foul.
A couple of changes for Stoke City. Jesrun Raksaki has come on for Milian Manhoof, and Maxim Talavierov, who had that torrid first half playing at right back, has made way for Eric Bocat. So a double change from Mark Robbins with a score at 1-1. Raksaki for Manhoof, Bocat for Talavierov. Jezran Raksaki on loan from Crystal Palace. He was at Rizespor in Turkey for the first half of this season. I think Coventry are going to respond to that change by getting Tatsuhiro Sakamoto ready to enter the fray. He was the only player left out from Tuesday's win at Sheffield United that you heard here on your home of the EFL. Essa, the man that replaced him today, maybe he's the player about to be replaced. We'll find out soon enough. Raksaki trying to get into the action early for Stoke City. An hour gone on Talksport 2. Bocat nods the ball down. Oh, and it was almost passed upon by Haji Wright. It was intended for Gibson, who's now playing at centre half. Hit long downfield looking for Cisse. Comfortable header from Latibogier, but Ben Pearson just swings the ball across to the left looking for Thomas, but it was well defended by Van Eyck. Clearance from Rushworth only finds Ben Pearson. He could only hit it along the deck. Oh, what a great challenge from Milan Van Eyck to slide in at right back and stop Sorba Thomas getting away. And then a collector's item from Jack Redoni. A poor touch allowed Stoke to win it back. It's all a bit harem-scarum at the moment. 1-1 at the CBS Arena.
Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration coming in the CBS Arena, dance, because Coventry aren't as free-flowing as they were in the first half, giving the ball away. That's because Stoke have found that extra yard and they're engaging more quickly in the 50-50s, making sure they're getting more challenges in.
Goal at Turf Moor. Cover your ears, Natalie Sawyer. Burnley 3, Brentford 3. Zion Fleming with the equaliser for the Clarets. They were 3-0 down at home, and I was writing them off before half-time, but it's all square in Lancashire. Ball's out of play for a throw, and here comes Tatsuhiro Sakamoto, and it is indeed Romain Essa that makes way for the Japanese midfielder, Perry Groves.
Yeah, just a like for like there. Coventry City Sakamoto will come on, give her a lot of energy. So he buzzes around to see if he can create something in Coventry City. He'll just go out onto that right hand side, so he'll have a nice little battle. Bocat, who's just come on for Stoke, who's gone over into left back position. So Gibson's gone into the left side centre half for Stoke City. So both managers ringing the changes to try and affect the game.
Just over an hour gone on your home of the EFL. Looked like Ashley Phillips was shoving Haji Wright in the back, but the referee saw nothing in it, and it's out and back with Tommy Simkin, and he finds Raksaki, who heads the ball down the right hand side for Stoke, but Latibogier very calmly tucks it back to his keeper. Latibogier again, lovely touch to just dink it over the head of Raksaki and give it to Jada Silva on the Coventry left hand side. Back it goes to the Coventry keeper, Carl Rushworth. Given to him by Bobby Thomas, who scored the winner here, Thomas, in the 97th minute when Stoke were beaten here 3-2 right at the death last season by Coventry. They've never lost back-to-back games in Coventry, not since 1982. Certainly not at this stadium. Here's Milan Van Eyck driving the ball down the centre of the field. Mason Clark's after it, but Tommy Simkin, the goalkeeper for Stoke, great starting position. Got there first and got it out of harm's way. 1-1.
Yeah, it's good defending from Wilmot as well.
Ball over the top from Torp. Haji Wright is in. Another great save from Simkin. Haji Wright wanted a penalty, but Simkin got the hands on the ball, got the important block in, and another important lesson in getting a good starting position as a goalkeeper. Narrowed the angles quickly, made the block. Great goalkeeping, stays 1-1.
That was the second time dance, wasn't it, in about 20 seconds where Simkin's starting position was perfect. The first one was when Mason Clark made a run from this left-hand side diagonally, and then it looked like he was going to get in. Simkin come out and just cleared it, and then Coventry recycled it, got it quickly through to Haji Wright, and then Simkin hadn't gone back any deeper, and he made sure that basically he was on the front foot. He was thinking what ifs. And the what if was if he got played over the top, and he's timing to come and slide out and get his arms to ball before Haji Wright got there was absolutely perfect.
Ian Dancer and Perry Groves with you on Talksport 2. Coventry 1, Stoke 1. Ball's in possession on halfway with Jack Radoni. Just trying to go through the gears down that right-hand side and get away from Sorba Thomas. Sakamoto's first involvement since coming on. Gets it back in field. Now a chance for a ball to be sent back to the halfway line. Our talk does go back to the halfway line to Thomas and then Lati Budgier. Now Ephraim Mason-Clark right in front of our commentary position here in the West Stand. Flicks in field, the cross comes into the box, headed up in the air by Gibson, and Simkin does well catching on the burst. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. It's 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders subject to availability. Price may vary. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you at the CBS Arena. Here's Raksaki playing the ball to Bajan Ho at the edge of the area. Made a run into the box, but great defending by Victor Torp when it looked like Bajan Ho was going to make a run on goal.
Really, really good defending from Torp, just making sure that he did his defensive duties. Bajan Ho just thought he was free on the edge of the 18-yard box. Really good play from Raksaki initially, just rolled him in, and Torp just got his big Inspector Gadget leg out, danced, didn't he? Extended it, got a sort of a big toe for it. Just put it back to Rushworth, negated the danger. But you can just tell, Dance, we said about, the goal from Gibson, Stoke going in 1-1 at half-time has completely changed the outlook of this game, because you can tell that Stoke are actually playing with miles more confidence in this second half than what it did in the first.
Doncaster 0, Cardiff 3. Kian Ashford gets the third for Cardiff, and Bolton have doubled their lead at Exeter. Bolton starting the day in third. Johnny Kenny gets the second for the Trotters. Lincoln also winning at home in League One to Blackpool, so the top three all in front. But the leaders of the Championship are being held here, and Lamine Cissé is being withdrawn at this point by the former Coventry manager Mark Robinson. So Milan Schmidt just arrived on loan from Go Ahead Eagles. Hasn't scored yet in the 6 appearances he's made, but he's tall. He's got to be 6'5", I would say. That's a target man that Stoke can use for these final 22-23 minutes, because we're midway through the second half. It is still Perry Groves, Coventry City 1, Stoke City 1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, obviously Smith will just go through the middle as the lone striker. He said Dance towering over, 6 foot tall. He'll give him a physical presence up front, and hopefully for Stoke's point of view he'll be able to hold it up, because Cissé, to be fair, it wasn't through lack of effort, Dance. He was trying to make himself busy, but he didn't get really a lot of quality service in the first half. But now Stoke have come more into the game.
Well, Seko tried to take the ball with him as it was rolled up to him on halfway by Ben Wilmot, but just couldn't take it with him. It went out of play. And Coventry City find Jack Radoni bursting down the left-hand side. Almost found the pass through to Mason Clark, but Raksaki uses great tenacity to bring the ball clear, tight to this near touchline. Great quick feet from him, but then Bajan Ho couldn't control it. But he looks a tricky customer, Jesran Raksaki. Not really made the breakthrough at Crystal Palace yet since he moved there.
But he got the winner against Oxford, Dance, in midweek.
He did.
So he'll be full of confidence.
Push on Sakamoto on that far side by Bocat, and it will give Coventry City a free kick. So just over 20 minutes to go, and there's a sense of needing a bit of urgency from the Coventry fans toward their players. Can they find their second wind? In the Premier League, it's still Burnley 3, Brentford 3. Burnley coming from 3-0 down. Liverpool 3-1 up on West Ham. Everton 2-1 up at Newcastle. 1-1 here at the CBS Arena. Here's Victor Torp on as a second half substitute for Coventry. His pass forward is intercepted, and Stoke City inside their own half bring it clear, and a lovely ball over halfway for looking for Milan Schmidt. But again, great starting position, this time from the Coventry goalkeeper Carl Rushworth, as Bajan Ho looked to find a defence splitting pass. Right idea, but good goalkeeping. 1-1.
Yeah, I think he needed Cissé on the end of that one, Dan, to be fair, because he's got a little bit more pace than Smith. You said good starting position from Rushworth, just cleared up the danger in the old sweeper keeper.
Hadji Wright finds Jay Da Silva left hand corner of the area, can't get past Raksaki. Liverpool 4, West Ham 1 at Anfield. Gakpo with the fourth. Jay Da Silva for Coventry. Lays it back to Matt Grimes, the captain, and further back to Lati Budgier and Thomas just ahead of the centre circle. Bobby Thomas flicks it out to the right hand side, and Milan van Ewijk. but he's forced by Sorba Thomas to go backwards of square to Torp. Latibeaudiere again in the centre circle. Quick pass for Matt Grimes to his left, and he slides a ball down the left-hand side of the box for Hadji Wright. Tries to pull the ball across the face of goal, and Wilmot turns it behind. It's a corner kick at the north stand end to Coventry City at 1-1.
Yeah, great little ball there from Grimes, getting himself on the ball, just rolling it in that inside left position to Hadji Wright. Made a really good run. To be fair, good defending from Gibson, just tracked the run. Corner for Coventry on the left-hand side.
To be taken by Victor Torp. QPR get a goal back against Sheffield United. Richard Kone makes it QPR 1, Sheffield United 2. Right-footed, in-swinging corner then from Victor Torp to come. Lots of Coventry players beyond the far post. It's around about the 6-yard line, headed away quite comfortably by Schmidt, back defending for Stoke, but it's come back out to Torp on this near side. Lays it back to De Silva for a first-time cross. Up go the heads, and it's Thomas who got his head to it, but it lands on the roof of the net. And it's a goal kick to Stoke City. Mark Robbins right out on the edge of his, or beyond the edge of his technical area, just shouting out some instructions. I think he's looking at Bai Jun Ho specifically. Not quite sure what he's trying to put across.
I think what he's saying is he wants some playing as more of as a front two, get himself a little bit closer to Smith. Obviously that's why he's put Smith up front, to hold the ball up. So he wants Bai Jun Ho just sort of hovering around him, because I say he's been playing more central in the second half anyway.
Reading 0, Bradford 1 in League 1. That's the top 4 all winning then in League 1, because Matt Pennington has put the Bantams ahead at the Select Car Leasing. And Exeter have a goal back against third place Bolton. Exeter 1, Bolton 2. Jaden Wareham scoring again for the Grecians. 1-1 here at the CBS Arena. We've got less than 20 minutes to play on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Stoke City under pressure for pretty much all the first half, got themselves level right on half time, and that's how it's stayed since then. Raft of changes from both managers. You probably imagine with all these subs there's going to be at least 4 or 5 minutes to add on at the end here, Perry Groves.
Yep, well obviously that would favour the home side, because they would have put Stoke City under a little bit of pressure, because Frank Lampard will know how imperative that Coventry get their win today. And at the moment you'd probably say Mark Robbins would say it was a really good point away from home, obviously against the league leaders.
He'd love this point that Stoke are currently getting, even if it doesn't necessarily get them any closer to the action in the playoff zone, with Wrexham winning at Charlton, Ipswich winning, Hull City winning at lunchtime today, Southampton winning at the moment at Sheffield Wednesday. In fact, they've just gone 3-1 up Southampton at Hillsborough. Taylor Harwood-Bellis with the third goal for the Saints. Millwall winning. And at the bottom, remember, Oxford United still 2-1 up on West Brom in that basement battle. It's not going to take Oxford out the bottom 3, but it will get them closer to those outside the relegation zone. 1-1 here. Torp for Coventry finds Van Eyck, swings the ball into the box looking for Rodoni, cleared on the half volley by Pearson. Van Eyck doesn't quite get his head to the ball. Thomas, that's Bobby Thomas, tight to the far touchline, sends it forward. And Stoke can't quite clear their lines and find a teammate, so it's back on halfway with Jay De Silva. 17 minutes to go. Bobby Thomas just lofts a ball up to the edge of the area, looking for Hadji Wright. Headed clear by Ashley Phillips. Brought down by Ephraim Mason-Clark. Looking to make some space for himself down the left-hand side of the area. Rolls it back to Matt Grimes. Drills in a first-time ball. Phillips with a diving header clear. Schmidt gets an important foot in, but gives it straight to Rodoni, who lofts it into the box, but nobody was making a run. And so Simpkin could comfortably pick up the loose ball. And then Simpkin goes down with the classic twisted sock. Oh dear. This is a bit of a scourge on the game, I'm afraid.
To be fair, Dance, he looked like he was really, really hurt there, because there was no one around him whatsoever, and he went to take one step forward. And sometimes, the pitches like these, Dance, with these sort of bobbles and divots now, he could have, gone down a bit of a divot hole there and twisted his ankle.
Well, I despair. Somebody came up with the idea that if a goalkeeper does go down like that, an outfield player has to come off for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'd say a minute. Because 30 seconds, you still take that chance. I'd say, get them off for a minute. and it won't stop them going down. And you'd say, like, it's a professional sport, so Simpkin's obviously been very cute. Stoke started to get, under a little bit of pressure, dropping on the edge of the 18-yard box. Crosses were coming in. They defended really well, to be fair, with Gibson and Phillips now the two centre-halves. So he thought, what I'll do is I'll just go to the floor, and then I'll just ease the pressure on my team. Is exactly what he's done. I'm looking at Coventry's Frank Lampard. He must be thinking of putting Sims on that. He might even go two up front.
Thomas Asante, yeah.
Just with Haji Wright and the physical presence of Sims as well, and go, right, we're going to go the old-fashioned two centre-forwards. We're going to get ball in the wide areas. We're going to overload in the box, because you know that Stoke are going to start sitting deeper and deeper and try to, just keep on hold of what they've got.
Stoke now will restart play as Simpkin drops the ball to himself. Liverpool 4, West Ham 2. Castellanos gets another goal back for West Ham, and Ipswich 3-0 up on Swansea in the Championship. George Hurst with the third for Ipswich, and we'll bring you their next game live on Talksport 2 on Tuesday night at home to Hull City, right next to them in the Championship table. Now Stoke City coming forward, Sorba Thomas, but Van Eyck gets the better of him, but he can only put the ball out of play for a Stoke throw on their left-hand side. 1-1 the score, 14 minutes of normal time to play. That QPR goal, incidentally, was chalked off. It's still 2-0 to Sheffield United at Loftus Road. Eric Bocat trying to get past a couple of Coventry players on that far side, but he's conceded a throw, and it's being left by Sakamoto for Van Eyck to take. It's not a long throw into the boxes, it's not even halfway for Coventry, so back it goes to Bobby Thomas. Now Joel Latibeaudiere plays a short pass to Jada Silva, Jesmond Raksaki nearly took the ball off his toe. And then it's worked by Torp out to Van Eyck on the right-hand side. Thought about a long ball downfield. Short pass just down that far touchline to Rodoni. And Rodoni draws the foul from Ben Pearson. And a chance for Coventry maybe to swing the ball into the box here. 77 minutes played on Talksport 2. And it's still all square between Coventry and Stoke, 1-1.
Yeah, little Michael Flatley foot over there from Rodoni over on the right wing. Ben Pearson just getting dragged in, end up fouling Rodoni. Went to the floor. Coventry take the free kick quickly.
Down the right-hand side with Jack Rodoni, faced up by Bocat. Swings the ball into the area, over Wright's head. Mason Clark tried to win it, but Wilmot got the better of him. Retrieved by Jada Silva. Mason Clark now runs into Raksaki, helping out Wilmot, and then he brings the foul out of Mason Clark for Stoke City. Lincoln have doubled their lead at home to Blackpool in League 2. Rob Street has the second. And also Bolton have scored two quick goals to go 4-1 up at Exeter. Thierry Gale and Ibrahim Sissoko have got the goals to stretch Bolton's lead. And both Thomas Asante and Ellis Sims are coming on rather than one or the other. And it's Haji Wright and Mason Clark that are making way for fresh attacking options for Frank Lampard at 1-1, Perry Groves.
Yep, that doesn't surprise me. We did say about, Ellis Sims coming on, Thomas Asante as well. I'd have kept Haji Wright and Ellis Sims up front as a front two, because as I said, Stoke going to sit a bit deeper. They're both physical specimens, they both like to attack the ball in from wide areas. But Frank Lampard has decided to go like for like, so Thomas Asante will come out on this left-hand side.
Here's Sakamoto in the centre circle, lofting it down the right-hand side, asking Sims, fresh on the field, to give chase. He'll get there. Right-hand corner of the area, tries to swing the ball across the box, but Bocat deflected it. Doesn't go out of play for a throw. Bocat does well, but then Sims keeps the ball away from Sorba Thomas. Ball goes out of play. That's given us a Stoke City throw, just to annoy the Coventry fans in that far stand, the east stand opposite us. So in the Championship, just to recap, in the 3 o'clock kickoffs at the moment, Charlton 0, Wrexham 1, Coventry 1-1 with Stoke here on Talksport 2, Ipswich 3, Swansea 0, Oxford 2, West Brom 1, Preston 0, Millwall 1, QPR 0, Sheffield United 2 and Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 3. In the Premier League, 4-3 to Burnley. I don't believe it. What a comeback. It's pending VAR, but it's saying that they're 4-3 up, Burnley, against Brentford, having been 3-0 down. 4-2 Liverpool against West Ham. Thomas Asante brings the ball down from a long ball forward, but that just allowed Simpkin to clutch hold of it. He's not going to go down injured again, is he, Thomas Higby? No, he's all right. And Newcastle 1, Everton 2. 1-1 here.
Brilliant ball from Van Eyck in that right back position. Thomas Asante making a brilliant run from the left-hand side, just diagonally across. And to be fair again, it was really good starting just from Simpkin. Just managed to clear the danger.
Falkirk 5, Kilmarnock 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts, the leader, still 1 up on Aberdeen. Ball's back with Carl Rushworth, the Coventry City goalkeeper.
You can hear the frustration from the Coventry fans dancing, playing out from the back.
Yeah.
So Frank Lampard will want them to keep going and stick with their principles and have the belief, but you can hear the Coventry fans, they want the ball pushed forward a lot quicker than what it is.
Still waiting for confirmation whether that Burnley fourth goal has been given to Zion Fleming, who scored the equaliser. 10 minutes to go at the Coventry Building Society Arena. 1 point apiece as things stand. So the leaders, Coventry, will go 6 points ahead of Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough play Monday night at Birmingham City, live on Talksport 2. Our coverage starts at 7 with kick-off at 8, just up the road from here. Bobby Thomas for Coventry hits a long ball, looking for Jay Da Silva, chests it into his path, midway point of the Stoke half, up to the left-hand corner of the area, rolls it across for Sims, has to go for goal and lifts it over the crossbar. To be fair to him, the cross from Da Silva went slightly behind Sims. He had to turn his right shoulder to get the ball in possession, then he just swung, fired it over the bar, and it's a goal kick. And there's a bit of cramp for a Stoke player out there with 9 minutes to go, and that Burnley goal has been disallowed. Breathe again, Natalie Sawyer.
I could hear the sigh of relief from here.
It's only 3-3.
She'd be busy looking at those budget airlines again out for Europe. Gets her back in the European mix. Just looking there, you said about Ellis Sims dance. I actually think he could have taken another touch, because it was a brilliant ball from Thomas from the right-hand side centre half for Stoke, for Coventry, out to this left-hand side to Da Silva. Da Silva sort of picked him out, and then Sim just needs to take another touch to steady himself. You could tell he was a little bit sort of anxious, and he sort of snatched it as it just sort of behind him on his left-hand side, and he was leaning backwards. That's why the ball went over Simpkin's crossbar.
Liverpool 5, West Ham 2, an own goal from Axel Disasi stretches Liverpool's lead again to 3 goals, and Newcastle have equalised at home to Everton. Joelinton has assisted Jacob Murphy in getting Newcastle level, and it's 3-2 Everton. They've gone down the other end and scored as soon as Newcastle have got themselves back at 2-2. Some great games and lots of goals in the Premier League today. You'll have lots to talk about tomorrow on
Keep Up to Speed
Game Day Live. This, by the way, missing none of the action here, because still Ben Gibson, who had a bit of cramp, actually wanted the physios to come and untreat him. He wasn't happy with the treatment he was getting from his own goalkeeper. So we are going to have a fair old chunk of added time here, Perry, because we've had 2 stoppages for spurious injuries, at least 8 substitutions.
See there, right,
and a lot of irritation
with the referee, Andrew Kinton. See where Gibson's got his treatment. He was right in the middle of the 18-yard box, right? Now, call me a bit of a cynic, but he's walked all the way off over to the far touch. Why don't you just go behind? Why don't the referee just say to him, I'm sorry, Sunshine, get yourself behind the goal and walk around the pitch?
Well, doesn't want to get his steps in. That's probably all he's done is...
Well, he's 10,000.
He is 10,000 for the day. Play back underway, so Stoke are temporarily down to 10. 7 minutes of normal time to go. Sakamoto for Coventry trying to wriggle away from Sorba Thomas on the far side of the field, but the Welshman does really well for Stoke to get it back. Bocat will hit it first time. He's going to screw it out of play though on the far side. It's a Coventry City throw. Ball's back with Milan, Van Eyck and Lati Bergier. Now Matt Grimes sprinting towards the halfway line.
Yeah, we've just seen the different mentality now of Stoke, where earlier on in this second half, when it was Cisse up front and then Bajan Ho, they were actually pressing, in that 4-4. Now they've just dropped completely into their own half and basically saying to Coventry, the centre halves, Lati Bergier and Thomas, you can have the ball, we're not going to come and close you down, you've got to see if you can break us down.
By the way, it was Tieno Barry that got that third Everton goal to make it 3-2 at Newcastle. You listen to Talksport 2. Lincoln 3, Blackpool 0 now. They really are playing some excellent football, Michael Scubala's Imps, but they're still only second to Cardiff, who are 3-0 up at Doncaster themselves this afternoon. Bolton winning handsomely too, and Bradford winning at Reading, the top 4 in League One, all in front. And Bromley, the League 2 leaders, 2-1 up on 10-man Accrington. That was 1-1 for a long time, but Michael Cheek got a penalty for his second of the game. Here's Thomas Asante for Coventry, down the left-hand side of the area. 5 minutes to go. Deflection might force a corner. He's trying to keep it in play, actually, at the dead ball line, under pressure from Seko. De Silva tries to get a foot in. It moves out to Grimes. First time ball into the area, headed clear by Ashley Phillips, brought down by Torp inside the D. Sakamoto onto the loose ball. Tees up Bobby Thomas, drives into the knee of Wilmot, still alive in the area. Gibson helps it clear, and then Bai Junho goes down. He's lost out to Bobby Thomas. Thomas with a little back flick to Thomas Asante, and he's driven across and put behind by Ashley Phillips for a Coventry corner. Coventry fans willing the winner. Corner to the Sky Blues, 1-1.
Brilliant defending from Ashley Phillips at his near post. Ball come out to Thomas Asante. He looked like he was just going to whip it across 6-yard box. Phillips made sure that he put his body on the line, which Stoke City weren't doing in the first half. Corner for Coventry City on their left-hand side.
Victor Torp at the north end to take this right-footed in-swinging corner for Coventry City. Hits it now, deep to the far post. Up go the heads. It's Stoke that got the head to it and cleared by Ashley Phillips. Raksaki is herring after it, but Van Eyck will get there first for Coventry on halfways. Ball downfield only finds Eric Bocat, but indeed Bocat only finds Latibogier with his ball downfield. 3.5 minutes to go. Another change being ready by Stoke. Thomas Rigo's going to be on for a final change for the Potters in just a minute, but that will have to wait until the ball's next out of play. Thomas Asante having a run at Ben Wilmot down this left-hand side. He's got the beating of him for pace, has he? Well, looked like he did until Wilmot made a terrific sliding challenge to put the ball out of play for a Coventry City throw right by the corner flag of the north stand end. 1-1.
Yeah, Thomas Asante just 1v1 with Ben Wilmot on the left-hand side of Coventry. Did exactly what wingers should do, just put it on the outside of him. Thought I'd take it on for pace. To be fair to Wilmot, brilliantly timed sliding tackle. Now going to have a long throw from Van Eyck from his left-hand side. In it comes then from Van Eyck to around about the penalty spot. Bounces away from there, headed wide by Victor Torp, who tried to guide it goalwards. Here comes a double change. It's not just Thomas Rigo that's coming on, but the vastly experienced Stephen Nzonzi, 37 years young, is also going to be coming on to, I imagine, see this game out and earn a point for Stoke City. Players coming off are Bai Junho, who's put in a fair old shift in midfield for Stoke this afternoon. That's to allow Rigo to come on, who was a summer signing from Banik Ostrava. He has scored for the club against Middlesbrough in January. And Ben Pearson is the other player making way. So Nzonzi, who came back to the club on a free transfer in August after a long period away from the club, which included spells at Sevilla. Won 20 caps for France in his career, and he's on in Ben Pearson's position in defensive midfield. But only a minute and a half plus, well, what are we guessing, 6 minutes of added time? Yeah, got to be 6 or 7. We had the two, in inverted commas, injuries, didn't we? First one from Simkin, where I think he fell over a blade of grass.
Right, here's Schmidt down the right-hand side of the area. Stoke make a foray forward here. Schmidt drives the ball into the box. Rigo tries to get onto the second ball, but Coventry try and get it clear, but that was Raksaki stopping De Silva getting the ball downfield, so it's a throw to Coventry City in their left-back position.
Yeah, and Nzonzi will just slide alongside Seko in that centre midfield area for Stoke City. And then Rigo will just come on this right-hand side, try and give him a bit of fresh legs, a bit of energy.
Now here's Sakamoto, bring the ball down, laying it down the left-hand side of the box for Rodoni, full of running, fizzes the ball across the face of goal, and it's turned behind by Gibson for another Coventry corner. as we head in towards added time on Talksport 2. 1-1.
Oh, that ball had a knife and plate on it, a knife and fork on it. Dance, not just on a plate, because it was a brilliant ball from Rodoni. Good link-up play with Sakamoto. Just released Rodoni on the left-hand side. Did exactly what he should do. Just rifled it across 6-yard box. Unfortunately for Coventry, Sims was on the far post. If he stands in between the posts, he just taps it into an empty net.
7 minutes of added time that we're going into right now on Talksport 2 as Rodoni sends in the corner. Simpkin misses his punch, comes out to the edge of the area. De Silva can't get the space for a shot. It's whacked clear by Stoke. Comes back to Grimes, out to Rodoni, right hand side, floats a left footed ball into the area, helped on by Thomas, straight into the face of Phillips, and then Wilmot wins the 50-50 challenge and tries to bring the ball clear for Stoke. He's done really well, Ben Wilmot, and then Nzonzi steps in. He's caught by Thomas, yellow card for Bobby Thomas, and Stoke get a free kick, having done so well to take the ball out of their defensive third and win a free kick in the centre circle. 1-1.
Dance. Mark Robbins, the Stoke City manager, we absolutely delight with the way they're defending in this second half. We just saw there in the first half, I thought they were too passive. Coventry were absolutely excellent and they were very fluent in their passing. But in this second half, Stoke City have made it more gritty, haven't they? They've actually got to the 50-50s, they've made the challenges. We saw there when the ball came into the box, it was a good header initially with Phillips, then Wilmot gets the knockdown, then he gets the second one, then he gets the third one, gets a little toe into it, then it comes to Nzonzi, and then it looks like Stoke are going to break. And to be fair to Bobby Thomas, he took one for the team there for Coventry City. He just tripped up Nzonzi. Quite rightly, the referee, Andrew Kitchen, gave him a yellow card.
Stoke free kick taken downfield by Gibson. Grimes wins a header at the edge of the Coventry box for the Sky Blues. Now he'll clear first time left-footed downfield, swirling towards the Stoke half of the field. Gibson heads it back from whence it came, but Rigo can't keep it in play. Throw in to Coventry City. 1-1 the score. Millwall have got a second at Preston. They lead 2-0 late on to Millwall. Luke Cundle getting the second goal. 1-1 here. Coventry fans roaring their team on, wanting the 3 points. Otherwise they're just going to be 6 points clear of Middlesbrough, who play on Monday night live on Talksport 2 at Birmingham City. Here is Bobby Thomas inside his own half. Doesn't have an option to send a long ball forward to, so he plays it square for Grimes. Further square for Lati Bogier, just inside his own half. Now De Silva picks it up on halfway. Red and white shirts get right around him. Now Grimes driving with a bit more purpose up to the halfway line. Out to Van Ewijk it goes on the right-hand side. He'll feed it out to Rodoni, who's had a quieter first half than the second. Back it goes to Carl Rushworth. Midway point of his own half, the Coventry keeper. Leaves it for Lati Bogier. Now Bobby Thomas with a long into-out ball, looking to release Sakamoto down the right, but Bocat is equal to it, puts himself between man and ball, and that ends up being a goal kick. And Sakamoto grabs a ball off a cone, places it on the 6-yard line, while Simpkin, who knows full well what Sakamoto is doing, has gone to retrieve the loose ball that had gone behind, and he gets a yellow card. He's gone the what, me?
Dance, you've got to laugh, because Sakamoto's tried to break down that right-hand side, and to be fair to Bocat, he's like gone with the runner, he's eased him off, then Sakamoto's run with the ball, he's actually run past Simpkin. Simpkin knows he's got the ball, to run past him to put it down for a goal kick. Simpkin blanks him completely, kicks the ball off the cone, then it rolls to the ball boy, and the ball boy gives it back to him, turns around and say, what have I done? I don't get it. What's the matter, mate?
And then he took an ace to take that goal kick. He's only just struck it downfield now, Simpkin. 1-1.
Say he's been brilliant.
Thomas Asante hits it downfield. Simpkins out of his area. He got a touch on it. Rodoni sends it goalwards. It's going to go in. It's gone in. Jack Rodoni wins it for Coventry, and the CBS Arena goes balmy. Rodoni latched onto a mistake by Tommy Simpkin, who is delaying goal kicks, came outside his area, didn't get the clearance. Rodoni just instinctively prodded it towards goal. It took a deflection. It still rolled in, and Jack Rodoni is the hero once again for Coventry City, and they're going to extend their lead at the top of the championship. What a finale! Coventry City 2, Stoke City 1.
Well, that's redemption for Rodoni. He's been quiet in this second half, but you want your big players to have effect on the game when you need them. And we have to say there's a little bit of karma there, Dan, because as the ball rolls through, Simpkin comes out, Sims challenges him, Simpkin's got to be stronger, he just gets a little touch to the ball, it comes to Rodoni with his left foot, it looks like he's going to roll it into an empty net, but he takes a deflection and takes agonisingly a long time to roll into the back of the net. You could hear the CBS Arena erupt. The Coventry fans are in absolute delirium, and you have to say it's a little bit of karma for Simpkin, the Stoke City goalkeeper, because he's been wasting time. You know, he's been getting on the Coventry City fans' nerves. He comes out and he should be whacking the ball clear, and he makes a complete hash of it. Rodoni puts it into the empty net. Coventry City go 2-1 up.
But there's still time. There's still time because Stoke have won a free kick just inside the Coventry half of the field. Burnley 3, Brentford 4. Mikkel Damsgaard looks to have won it for Brentford now. Stoke with a free kick. Sorba Thomas drives it into the area, headed across the face of goal. Desperate clearance and an offside flag has gone up. So it's a free kick to the Sky Blues. They've still got another minute or so to negotiate here at the CBS Arena. But as things stand, Coventry City are going to go on to 71 points, 8 clear of Middlesbrough on 63, 9 clear of Millwall on 62, and 11 clear of Ipswich and Hull in 4th and 5th. We are going up is the chant from right around this stadium that's posted its record attendance here this afternoon of just over 31,000 fans, and boy have they had a finale to enjoy as things stand.
I think it's a mixed team. Half the fans are saying we are top of the league, we are top of the league, and another fans going we are going up, we are going up. I think they're both right in both camps, Dance, as well, because as a group of players, Coventry haven't been nowhere near as good as what were in the first half. You know, they've scratched around a bit, but then you look at each other. If there's one player you wanted the ball to fall to, it would have been Rodoni. You know, have the calmness with the quality to put it into the empty net, and then the fans start believing, and this will be etched long in the memories of the Coventry City fans. If they can see this out 2-1, they will then link back to this and say, can you remember the time when we were at the CBS Arena when it was a record crowd? Stoke made it really difficult for us. We thought it was draw 1-1, and then Rodoni scores the winner and did on time.
The 7 minutes of minimum stoppage time are already up. It's up to Andrew Kitching as to how much more we play. Coventry have won a throw on this near side right in front of our commentary position. Wrexham have won at Charlton. Ipswich have beaten Swansea. Millwall have won at Preston. Sheffield United have won at QPR, and Southampton have won at Sheffield Wednesday. Still playing at the Kazam. Oxford 2, West Brom 1 is still going here too at the CBS Arena. Coventry have a throw down by the corner flag on this near side, the left, to be taken by Jay Da Silva. Rodoni, the hero, trying to win a corner. It's been given as a goal kick, and now Tommy Simpkins in a hurry to get it downfield. How different from 4 or 5 minutes ago when he couldn't have taken any longer to spot the ball down for a goal kick. There goes the full-time whistle. There's the joy around the Coventry Building Society Arena. A 4th straight win for Frank Lampard and the Sky Blues, taking them further clear at the top of the championship. It's now an 8-point gap to Middlesbrough, but boy oh boy they left it late. Jack Rodoni, the hero, not just of the hour, but the hero of stoppage time, when it looked like Stoke had done enough to earn a point. The score was 1-1 at half-time, but in the 4th minute of added time, Sims chased the ball downfield. Tommy Simpkin, the Stoke goalkeeper, who made excellent saves during the game, came out of his 18-yard box, didn't get the clearance right, and Rodoni poached it from about 25 yards, and via a deflection, the ball trickled into the back of the net to spark limbs everywhere around this stadium. And if there wasn't belief in this place before that Coventry City are Premier League bound, I bet there is now as the fans head home. What a finale, Natalie. It's finished here. Coventry City 2, Stoke City 1.
Oh, late drama, and as you say, in front of a record crowd at the CBS Arena as well. Let's bring in Perry Groves. How on earth do you assess that?
Do you know what? It's like football. That's why we love football. Nat, it's the unscripted drama, and it looked like Stoke were going to hang on for a 1-1 draw because they made it very difficult in the second half. You know, they were physical. They made it a little bit bitty. I have to say, Tommy Simpkin in the Stoke City goal was absolutely outstanding. Apart from one moment, and that is the perils of being a goalkeeper. Because as we said in the second half, he was wasting time. He was going down pretending he was injured. He was getting the other balls, you know, rather than taking the one that was in the 6-yard box for a goal kick. And when the ball was played over the top, it looked like he was favourite, because Ellis Sims made that run behind Stoke City's back four, and Simpkin should be clearing everything out. He should be smashing the ball away, should be smashing Ellis Sims out the way, and he hesitated and he dangled a right foot. The ball then ricocheted to Rudoni on the edge of the 18-yard box. And if there's one player that you would want it to fall to, if you're a Coventry City fan, in that situation, it would be Rudoni. And he was calm. He just got a nice left foot shot. It took a bit of a deflection. There was a big gasp from the Coventry City fans. They thought it might have been deflected wide, but it actually rolled into an empty net. And you could hear the unbridled joy and the passion of these 28,500 Coventry City fans here at the CBS Arena. They were believing before today, Nat. Now they are believers.
Well, they certainly are. They're 8 points clear at the top, albeit the Middlesbrough still have to play in this game week. But my goodness, that will feel like a huge win for them, no doubt. Is there any sympathy for Stoke? Because they did hold out for quite a while. Obviously, they conceded early in the game, then got themselves back level just before half-time. But is there any sympathy towards the defensive side of things for them?
Not really, to be honest, because they were better in the second half. You know, I said they were. Their defensive shape was better. They had more energy. They were half a yard sharper into their challenges, and it took them a while with Talaviorov, who said we know he's at right back. It took them too long, I think, to change that and put him back into centre half. But from Stoke City's point of view, they stayed in the game, they made it competitive, but they had one effort on target, and they scored from that one effort. So if they draw it 1-1, you would say it's a very clinical, stoic, away performance. They end up losing it 2-1. You look at all the stats and you think, well, actually, you should have lost it more than 2-1, because Coventry, especially in the first half, were the more dominant side and the more easy in possession, like free-flowing. At the end of the game, Frank Lampard ran onto the pitch, and the first player he made, I think he gave Rudoni a love bite, actually, because he was just like cuddling him and kissing him or whatever, because he knows, Frank Lampard and the Coventry City players now doing a lap of honour around the CBS Arena. Frank Lampard knows what that will do. His Coventry City players are confident anyway, but when that happens and you score in the 4th minute of added on time to win a massive game in front of a record crowd, then you start thinking, this is our time. This is going for us. And I have to say, it couldn't have fallen to anybody better than Jack, because Rudoni was, I can't describe how good he is now. This Coventry City side, honestly, he's a joy to watch. He plays like he's playing in like a testimonial game, he just floats, and his balance is great, and he stayed cool at exactly the right moment.
And obviously before the game we talked about the fact that Coventry had gone through a bit of a funny spell during the winter period, shall we say, but they started to get back to looking a bit like their former selves, but they're not yet at their best, are they?
No, I thought they were in the first half, to be honest. I think they did flow very, very well. The second half, they're going to come up and get quite a lot. It was like a 4-4-2. It was a mid-block at first from Stoke, then they dropped a little bit deeper. And you can hear, with 20 minutes to go, the Coventry fans started to get, I wouldn't say anxious, but just a little bit, sort of frustrated that they weren't getting the ball forward enough quicker. But they stuck to their guns. They played exactly the way that Frank Lampard wants them to play. They played out from the back. They tried to go through the lines. Talk came on and got himself on the ball and tried to knit things together. Frank Lampard made his substitutions, and in the end, they've been the right substitutions, because his team have actually won the game.
OK, Perry, it's now time to pick our man of the match with McDonald's.
Man of the match Arch on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? The Big Arch is here to stay. Available from 11 a.m. subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Perry, it comes down to you then. Who stood out for you?
I think it's quite easy, to be honest. It's not.
I think I know you might go for.
Exactly, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist. Do you know what? It would have been a battle between Redoni and Tommy Simpkin in goal for Stoke City, because he pulled off 6 top quality saves, and he looked like the player that was going to get Stoke City a point, and he was wasting time in the second half. So the Coventry fans will say, you deserve what you got. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of a bit of karma, but the one player that stood out like a sore thumb, especially in the first half of his quality, was Jack Redoni. He was a joy to watch in the 10th position, and he's come up with a big moment at the crucial time. So it's quite easy for me to give it to Coventry City's Jack Redoni.
I thought that might go that way. Perry, thank you very much. That was all.
Are you all right, Nat? Are you okay? 4-3?
We'll come back to you.
4-4.
No. We'll come back to that. But our man of the match was all thanks to McDonald's.